25 personality traits now. Thanks to you guys. Thanks, team. Thank you. Ken, they're most definitely in a bubble. KK says, oh God, here we go. What does that mean? Are you offended? Are you upset that we are summarizing you? What would you like to add, Yaya?
I think denial, because was it a few days ago we had Ghana taken to the United Nations General Assembly about the the slavery and all that, and I think Israel, I think Britain, so many countries were like, no, slavery was something that happened long time ago. Imagine 400 years later is when they say, oh, slavery was crimes against humanity, like 500 years later. Yeah, the state of denial has been there for many years. And also, the other thing is, we black people, we are often portrayed as wicked people, evils. When white people are coming to colonize black people, actually they suffered from tropical neurasthenia, the fear of the natives. Imagine someone coming to colonize you, then we are the beast, we are the wicked people. And they were the beast, the wicked people. Honestly speaking,
That's why there's deflection.
And deflection, arrogance with Donald Trump, bombarding people and saying no, remove, wiping people from the face of the planet Earth, taking people to the Stone Age. It is absolutely horrible. And violent slavery, for example, was responsible for the death of 24 million people. That is not the right estimation. It might be more than that, but many people say it's 24 million people, 12 million people stolen from Africa. A third of those people were Muslims. They were forced to convert to Christianity and all that. And it was horrible.
Yeah, there's so many bad things that they do. And the thing is, when we talk about the past, they don't recognize how it affects the present day and how it affects the future. They keep saying it's in the past, but they're also not aware of their present day behavior. They're not aware that all of these personality traits we've put here are what we actually are still experiencing through them, and how we deal with these personality traits. Like I always give the same examples in our careers. If we're working with English people, we're dealing with these personality traits that still came from their ancestors. They're still these people today. If we're trying to date them, me as a black woman, when I tell you, dating Englishmen, all of this shit comes out. It all comes out, like really and truly. When you're a confident black woman and you're trying to date an English man, this stuff comes out constantly. And it's so frustrating, like so frustrating. How am I so when I lived in the UK, right, I lived in a majority white area. I didn't live in the capital. I didn't live in London. I didn't live in any city where there was much more other races of people to date, right? I did end up dating lots of different people, but generally the bigger percentage of men I ended up dating were white English men. All of this shit came out. All of it came out, and I was like, oh my God. And the gaslighting and the manipulation, which of course I haven't put up there. This earring's hurting my ear. I didn't put that stuff on there. But yeah, this is the thing, Yaya, is if we talk about the past, they don't understand it. And so that's why it's important to link this stuff to the present day. And you brought up the transatlantic slave trade, the fact that the UN have voted it the worst atrocity to humanity, and still they will deny that it happened. Still, they'll say, well, you're all in the UK now. What's the problem? Why is this an issue? You've still destroyed our homelands. You messed up everywhere. Everywhere where the English went, where the British touched, they messed it up. They messed it up. And they only say, well, we improved it. No, you didn't. You installed things that were compatible to you, and you left us all to clean up the mess after you. That's what you did. In your ignorance, in your arrogance, you didn't have the want, the chance, the need or desire to actually go and educate yourself about other existences. You were ignorant to other existences. And in your arrogance, you were like, erase all of this stuff, guys. We're going to give you something which we think is better. That's what you thought. And you were also very afraid of people that were different. You had the fear. Thank you so much for the gift. Thank you, Joanne. Thank you. You had this fear and insecurity and jealousy about other people. And then when people start coming to your land now, which you see, you're paranoid. You're like, oh my God, all of the stuff that we did to the rest of the world is coming back on us now as karma. You're paranoid that you think people are going to do the same shit what you did around the world to you. You constantly project this fear, all of those things constantly in a conversation. You try to think that everybody else is as uneducated as you are, when we're far more educated. All of the statistics, all of the exam grades are showing that we are smarter than you. So stop projecting that you think that we're on the same low level of intelligence. We're not. You're condescending all of the time, talking down to us. You call us you lot, right? You call us you lot. As soon as we say you lot, you're like, you can't call us that. Can't call us that. It's ridiculous. All right, we've got Leanne on the panel. Leanne, what would you like to add to the conversation?
Hey, folks.
Hiya, how's it going?
Yeah, good. It's funny you said, like, we should look at what they're doing now. I saw a post earlier, this guy, he's a white guy, he's got a sports car and he's drove in Covent Garden and like nearly run down loads of people in the street. They've got him out of the car and he's drunk and he's just standing there laughing at the police officer. Like, you can see.
Is it down that narrow road and he's getting arrested?
Yeah.
I saw that. Mm-hmm. Yes.
And it just reminded me of when you said like that kind of arrogance that they've got. And I've dated white guys before. I think I mentioned it before, that they've got that arrogance to them where they're so entitled. Everything's about me. Yeah, and it's so cringe. Now I don't date them couple guys now. I've fully realised. But yeah, it's crazy. They've got all of those things you listed. Is just, I see it in everyone. And like I said to you before, I'm half Irish and half Jamaican, so I do see that in my mum's side. Well, I say that it's only my mum really on that side now. There's nobody else really. They've all passed away. But that fear. Trying to scared, they're so scared of everything, and it's just I call them NPCs.
What does that mean?
Non-player characters, like they've got no soul.
NPCs.
Yeah, they've got no soul.
Yes.
They just go along life and just don't question anything. Nothing. They're not accountable for things, and yeah, that's my thought on it.
Absolutely spot on. Yes. So if you guys have not seen that footage, there is a guy who's managed to cause a car crash on this tiny narrow street where the speed limit is probably 10 miles an hour, 20 miles an hour.
Yeah, it's 20.
Something like that. Yeah, and he managed to crash his car into another car, and there are loads of people around him, and you can see people shouting at him, telling him he's an idiot. But as he's getting arrested, he's laughing like, this is so funny. He could have killed people.
Yeah.
It is a pedestrian area, that area. There's loads of people there, one-way street, and he's going so fast to cause an accident. Ridiculous. Oh, you saw it, 50 Cal Vibes. Good to see you. An expensive car at that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was top of the range. But you could just see the arrogance in his face when the police were talking that to him. He was just like, yeah, whatever. Don't care. And especially when they've got money. Oh, my God. Oh, I've got some stories. But yeah, I'll keep that for another time.
Oh, my God. Yeah. English men, especially, plus money.
Mm-hmm. Dangerous.
Please. I'm so glad that I've not been around English men with money. Actually, unless they've been my submissive, because some of you guys know that I am a dominatrix as well. So they have to be in that specific place where they've paid for my time, paid for my attention, and they very much know then that I am in charge. So I don't have to deal with that kind of messy personality. But otherwise, yes, I have been in very high places. So I've been in the BBC quite a few times, in the BBC offices. I've been also in the British Embassy in Ukraine as well, and like dealing with these personalities of these men. I've also met what's that guy's name? Marco Pierre White, right? I met him. So I had some old friends who were in Mumbai, and he was doing a dinner thingy at a restaurant. I didn't pay for it. My friends were like, yeah, we're going to go to this thing. And I was like, okay, whatever. I'm not really interested in this celebrity chef stuff, but you know, they paid for a ticket. Let's go. Fine. We went to this beautiful hotel, loved the hotel. And there was a meet and greet. Sorry, 1 minute. A bug came in my throat.
Oh God.
It's getting really warm here, so a bug just went earlier. That's why I went. Right, sorry, yes. So there was a meet and greet with Marco Pierre White, and we were all sitting down with him, and he was only interested in the like really attractive Indian girls, because I say this was in Mumbai. So the really, really like super attractive ones. Otherwise, he was just not interested in anything anyone had to say. I didn't want to do the meet and greet. I'm not interested. I was like celebrity stuff. I always say celebrity, even in quotes, not interesting to me, but I just did it because my friends were doing it. And, you know, I didn't want to be the stickler at the time. But of course, I was the only one to make him laugh. And then when I went away, I went, that guy is a fucking horrible man. He was rude. He's just a rude person, a very rude person. So a lot of when it comes to celebrity things, and yeah, he has got a very weird energy. Yeah, he's just a horrible person. Straight away, not welcoming, arrogant, you know, all these things, like ignorant as well. He's just rude. He's just rude. Sorry, guys.
That's exactly what they are. I'll be staying well away from them. I'll be staying well away.
Sorry, guys. Yes. So I'm going to move to Yoann because I'm kind of choking. Yoann, do you want to add some thoughts about what you think about English people, please?
Oh my goodness. Like very, very similar to the kind of traits that I actually see here in the United States. Well, when I was in the United States, very, very, very similar. I mean, just right up and down the list. In fact, actually, I have to say personally, I've seen people in my life just actually do that kind of stuff. They drink themselves behind the wheel and actually go out, and it baffles my mind how there's no accountability like that. But you know, they got connections in the community, so they always think they can get away with this stuff. It's absolutely horrific. And they always think, and in some degree they do. It's ridiculous how much privilege they have. You know, to go over this, they practically put people's lives in danger and total vehicles and do all this kind of stuff. And I have no idea how they walk away scot-free from this. But then again, in the back of my mind, I know how they do. I can't I can't completely go over and say I don't. It's absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, no, I've been learning a lot about English people. They remind me so much about the privilege here in the United States. I wonder if it's hereditary.
Yeah. It's the DNA. It's the DNA. Yeah. I mean, especially when it comes to English men, right? When a white man of Western European background sees another white man, they're just like, they give them the look, right? It's like, we're the same. We're the same. So that's why they have the entitlement, and that's why they get away with a lot of the stuff, because you know that man, especially the police, right? They're also doing the same thing. They're doing the same thing. And let's talk about the police for a little bit. It is very unfortunate that black and brown people, especially, I mean, in the US, of course, you've got black and you've got Latino men, and we've talked about this actually a lot, and even when it comes to politics, that often when non-white people or people from the global majority, black, brown, Asian, anyone gets into these police forces, they end up being sucked in to the system of whiteness, of Englishness, and they start being ignorant, arrogant, violent, racist. Like they start being all of these personality traits. It's like the closer that you get to the system, that's when you become it, right? And so it's so important for people from the global majority and awakened white people and English people to make sure that you're constantly trying to break out of these systems, schooling systems, like education systems, career systems, healthcare systems, all of these systems that exist, you have to try and be as individual as possible without getting sucked in by these personality traits, because it's very easily done. Like when I lived in the UK, I felt like I was fighting a lot of this stuff. Truly, I could feel the energies there in a very big way. That's probably why I was spending a lot of time traveling. There were some times where I was going away every month at one point. Every month. And sorry, 1 minute. Every month. And there was one time, and I've told this story before, where I got off a plane once, got to my house, was only there for 30 minutes before I was flying off somewhere else, because there's such bad vibes in the UK. I could not stand being there. And that's why I had to make it my goal to move and leave the island of misery. And I'm so glad that I did. And I always encourage everybody else, if they can, to leave the island of misery, because the personalities there are so bad. Because people always ask me, oh, why did you leave the UK? And it is mainly because of the people. Really. I'm very lucky though, incredibly lucky, that where my house is back in the UK, I've got great neighbours. Like, they're really lovely neighbours. I've got great people there. And and I've got a couple of good friends as well, two good English friends, and that's it. And I've always said how sad that is. How sad is it that a 42-year-old woman can only have really two English friends in an 87% white country? Doesn't make sense, does it? It really doesn't make sense. Faisal, you said that it was an accident to come up. Do you want me to drop you, Faisal? Do you want to add something? Do you want to write in the comment section, or unmute for a second and say what would you like me to do? I know it's an accident that you're up on the panel. Sorry for this guy. Guys, what happens here? So the country I've moved to, we have these tiny, tiny little bugs, and they are so tiny. They're smaller than mosquitoes, and they can come through our like net things. And this one, when I was talking, just went straight into my throat. Thank you, Faisal. I've just disconnected you. You'll type it in the comments. Lovely jubbly. So I'm glad. I mean, guys who have just joined, at the beginning of this live, I started with 13 personality traits, I think, or 12 personality traits. And thanks to everybody else who came along, we've got 25 now, and that happened very quickly. So let me actually read all of the personality traits that we've got there for the English personality traits. Fear, insecurity, jealousy, paranoia, projection, condescension, narcissism, sadistic, which should be sadism, divisive, hypocritical, demonic. Oh, I can't see. Thank you, Joanne. You're gifting me, so I see the background. Pathological liars, deceptive, ignorance, arrogance, deflection, denial, entitlement, racism, sociopathy, pessimistic, so pessimism I should have written, low self-esteem, violent, deceptive, and weak. Yes, thank you. This is better. They are similar to midges. Yes, they're tiny and they just fly into your face. That's exactly what happened. Just whoop, straight in my throat. So the funny thing is, so my original video that I put, I had fear, insecurity, jealousy, paranoia, projection as the main 5. That's the 5 I started off with, right? And in the comments of the video that I put there ended up being another 7. And then another 3 more, not another 7, another 3, and then another 3, which ended up having 10 personality traits, which were the ignorance, arrogance, deflection, denial, condescension. Those ended up being added. And as time has gone on, and the more of these TikTok lives I've done, I've of course seen more of these personality traits come out. So that's why before I went, the first thing I posted is I also added the racism and what else did I put on there? I think it was just the racism and entitlement, because I hadn't had entitlement as well. And I've been on so many of these TikTok panels, right? So I don't know if it was it my panel or someone else's panel? I can't remember. But I'll tell you the story about the panel. I think it was actually somebody else's panel, that I was on this weekend. This English guy had lived somewhere in Asia, I can't remember where, for 1 year. He wanted to go into a club, and it said on the outside, no tourists, in the local language, right? This white English guy said, that's racist. Racist? It just says no tourists. They wanted to have a thing for local people. Why is that racist? Then he went on to say, well, my colleague who was of Asian descent was allowed to go in. Why is she allowed to go in and I'm not allowed to go in? Because we're both tourists. I'm like, that's her home. She's not a tourist. She's at home. That's literally where she's from. So why wouldn't they let her in? And he took it so personally. He was so entitled that he did not understand, because he tried to make this equivalent. Oh, what happens if we went to the UK and it said that? What if you went to the UK and it said no tourists on a place? Are we supposed to be offended by that? We wouldn't be offended. He was trying to make it about race. He was trying to say because he was a white guy, they assumed that he was not from there. Anyone who looks foreign is a tourist. They just can't get their heads around this. They can't get their hands around it. And it was so much entitlement that we were trying to say to him, but he didn't get it. He literally didn't. Fazer, you said, got called the peaceler and child bride when I was playing a game and told them I was Indian. Fazer, I got called the peaceler when I was 5 by another kid, another child. And I think what's going to be really interesting is, Eve, what happened to obeying the laws of the land? Oh, it only applies to them. They don't think that they need to follow any rules. The rules are for everybody else. And yes, they aren't expats, they're immigrants. Well, he was an expat actually because he was just working there. But generally, a lot of these English people and white people, they're immigrants. I call them immigrants to their faces. I love seeing them slurs. Toxic phantom, how do kids even know these slurs from their parents? They got racist parents. It's in the homes.
I can quickly jump on that and confirm that with the parents, because I used to be a teacher, primary school, and I was in year 1 then, so the kids are 6. And this one child, white child, he came over to me and he said, Miss, I can't play with that boy. He keeps chasing me. I'm not allowed to play with the P word. Yeah, so it is parents, but parents are saying this around their kids. They're showing them that's their views on life and how to look at people. It's so sad. And I encouraged him, and I said no, it's okay, you can play with him, it's fine. So I don't know, obviously, if he's gone home and told his mum, the teacher made me play with, but it's so sad. And that was in East London, where we're multicultural. It's not the majority are white. So yeah, it's so sad.
Yeah. How is it that you could live in a very multicultural area and be told to fear the people who are in your community? The way that they instill this fear, insecurity, and paranoia onto their next generation, right? The parents have so much negative personality traits that they just continue to perpetuate this cycle that goes on for generations, instead of them waking up and being like, do you know what, actually they're just humans as well. They can't do it. And so then it becomes the child's responsibility to come out of that programming. And it is very, very sad that in the home, the first things that they will learn is to hate another person. For why? Because they've got a different skin color? That's pathetic. It's so pathetic.
So sad.
Say from a different perspective too. I mean, my family, growing up in a white conservative household, they would do the same thing. They would project fear on other groups and everything. They would tell us, don't go to these certain part of town, that you'll get killed or shot there. Don't interact with this group. Anybody with this religion is associated with bad. It's horrible. I mean, luckily I was able to grow out of it and, see things in a different light. But, looking back, they teach us in the homes. They teach us how to hate from a very, very young age, and it goes to our schools. It goes to every aspect of our media and culture. It's absolutely horrific. Yeah. And honestly, yeah, it seems very similar to what I experienced in the U.S. coming from, the other point of view. And it's just so sad that it's got to project harm on others. It's terrible.
It's really bad considering other cultures and what have happened in other cultures by the hands of white people, by the hands of British people. There are no lessons in schools or any communities that tell you to hate the people. It doesn't exist. We're not taught to hate the people that did such horrible things to us. We're not taught that. Again, and this is why it is important to address these personality traits and to reflect back to people, black and brown people, or anybody who's actually been harmed by English people or Western Europeans. We cannot absorb this energy. We cannot absorb all of these personality traits that they have. This is why I have this platform. This is why I'm always laughing. This is why I'm always deflecting and reflecting back to them. And this is why I'm so glad that you guys are here. I'm glad that you guys who come in regularly are here. I'm glad that you new guys are here, because this is how we arm ourselves. We arm ourselves by having these conversations. We arm ourselves by understanding their personality traits and how we deal with these things. We can attach names to these things now, right? Because a lot of the time, and especially for those of us who are younger or were younger and have parents that simply didn't explain any of these things to us, because me personally, I didn't have this existence of being in England explained to me. I had to figure it out as I went. It was a very lonely journey on that front. And I took a lot of it personally. I didn't understand what I was doing wrong, even though I was friendly and funny and happy and having a good time. I was feeling all of these personality traits coming towards me. And because I'm an empath and because I've got ADHD, it gets to you. You start soaking it up like a sponge. And you think, what did I do? Am I a bad person? No. I'm just reflecting back to English people, or they're actually seeing in me what they wish they could be. They wish they could be there, because I represent all of the stuff that they hated when they went to my lands. They hated people that looked like me. And they became fearful of me. Their insecurities jumped out because of me. They became jealous of me. Paranoid, like everything towards me, because I represented something that they wanted to be. And a lot of you guys here, every time that you experience one of these personality traits from an English person, you represent something that they wish they could be. They wish they had the confidence levels of those of us who can string sentences together, the education levels, the job opportunities, the freedom to travel. They wish that they had those things that we have. And so it makes them even more disgruntled, and all of these negative personality traits come out. So please do not absorb the energy. Please reflect it back to them. Anti-racist mum, good to see you.
Hey, how are you? Beautiful.
I'm good.
As always.
Thank you, lovely. Thank you. So, English personality traits. You are always the most honest when it comes to the topic of English people and discussing them. So what would you like to add today, Anti-Racist Mum?
You've got quite a lot there. I haven't got my glasses on. Have you got entitled on there? Oh yeah, you've got entitlement, arrogance, ineptitude, lack of can't self-reflect, lack of accountability. Yeah, just like I just find English white people so annoying at the moment. Like this lack of ability to, like even here, I know I'm teaching them to build capacity, but even so many allies, like just think that they're already doing the work. And then I have global majority people come to me and say, oh my God, this person's an ally, they're involved with this group, and can you just have a word with them on the slide, because they're really perpetrating harm in how they're showing up. But on the surface of it, they think they're an ally. And it's like, our inability to see that the image we hold of ourselves is not how we are experienced by other people. Like there's this real cognitive dissonance, isn't it? It's this real divide. And this conditioned deflection from being able to sit with the uncomfortable feelings is just, it's sometimes it wears me down. Like this morning, I was feeling quite worn down by it and feeling like it's an uphill battle. And then you'll have these amazing conversations with generally global majority people who contact me, and then I'm like all fired up and ready. Like now I'm all fired up and ready to go again. But if you just spoke to me at lunchtime, I was like, oh my God, it's like an uphill battle dealing with these brain rotten racists. But and even trying to sometimes arguing with them is like, certainly in my comments, like there was a video, I was at Trafalgar Square watching the state-sponsored violence on pensioners on Saturday. Over 500 pensioners arrested. So I went up to London to bear witness to the further decline into fascism in this country. And somebody interviewed me, and that video went up on IG. But like the amount of people in the comments when I woke up this morning, I had comments that I had to report and like block and delete of white people going, this is a Nazi, this is what socialism looks like, this is the problem with this society, this is a racist white person. And it's like, oh my God, like I can't, like you are so far gone, I'm not even gonna, and like you look at their profiles and they're absolutely pointless. Like to argue with these people, and that's why it's got to be the people that are self-identified allies. Like we have to be the ones that do the unlearning, and then we have to be the ones that then tackle those family members, tackle those colleagues, those peers, those community on a consistent basis to de-radicalize them. And we have to start using the terms like de-radicalization. We have to use the appropriate language, because at the moment, the way that fascism manipulates the minds of people is it uses the wrong words. So like when I was up in Trafalgar Square, there was a frauditor that was shouting at me, oh, you think you're so woke, dirty woke lefty. And I was like, do you even know what woke means? And he's like, oh, that Katie Hopkins, she created that word, like that's just describe all the scumbag lefties. And I'm like, you're so stupid, like there's a history to that word, like learn the history. I'm glad that you call me woke. Yeah, I'm awake to the systems that are controlling us. And he was like, oh, what are you talking about? Like a brain dead Neanderthal. And it's that, it's
No
that.
critical
It's,
thinking skills.
no.
There's so many things that you, like I say, you have to combat a lot. So those of you who don't know who the anti-racist mum is, she is working so hard to help white English people or white people in general to unpack any internalized racism, any discrimination, or any ignorance, or any or just wanting to be a better ally to the global majority. It of course requires a lot of self-reflection and a lot of honesty, which people generally find hard to do. And anti-racist mum is quite the activist. So for her to go into these spaces and see other white men say stuff that's so stupid and obviously quite on a regular basis can be very draining. And so that's why it's important for anybody, right, who's on the side of activism to always keep remembering to charge your battery, charge your internal battery, and never spend too much time in these spaces, right? Like you can't spend too much time around this negative energy because it is too much. It's too much. And we also we have some kind of responsibility, but for a lot of us, of course, if we're neurodivergent, we sometimes take on too much responsibility because we're so empathetic. So we have to learn our own boundaries as to where we can go and then where we need to stop, because we can't keep going because we do achieve burnout. But that woke thing is so ridiculous. Like Katie, and this is what I think makes it very difficult these days. And I feel this sometimes as well, anti-racist mum, is that it feels like an uphill battle, because it feels like you know what you're talking about and you can see the world for what it is very clearly. But the battles, you seem like you're going for the big battle, and then you have all these stupid little small battles. So we're talking about, of course, being woke, but then you have somebody who thinks that Katie Hopkins created woke and left it. It's got nothing to even do with the definition of the word. Like how far this crap now spreads with misinformation is crazy. It really is so insane that they can have such a different idea about what something means. But I did pause the comments a little while ago because GT Battle Maps, I don't know if they're still here, G2 Battlemat said, most people crying like this in the internet have huge issues. What's that, guys? Which personality trait is that? That's projection. Because who's crying on the internet? Or are we actually discussing things like grown up people, like adults? Yeah, we're discussing things like adults very clearly, very concisely. Everybody in the panel so far has had something to say that was very important. There was nobody crying here. GT Battlemats, you are displaying projection. And he said that I'm listening to her deluding herself. About what? Again, projection. This is exactly what they do. So I love to actually see their personality traits come out. Priella says, it's insane how fragile the abusers can be. Yes, most definitely. Oh my God. So you guys, my background picture, I don't know if you can see it, is kind of faded. It was a picture of the English, we know a lot of English men are PDF files. Like, we know this. A lot of them are into trafficking. They hurt children. They hurt women. I put them in the background there. They are the biggest abusers. And I've said this, and even on the video, I have a video on my page, right? You could, after this, if you want to go to my page, you're more than welcome. I think it's 2 videos back where I'm talking about a woman. Let me try and remember. So there was a TikTok I came across about a woman saying, this is my father. Scroll 2 pages later, he's being arrested, the father, for crimes against children. And in that comment section, there are loads of women who are the children saying, my dad is exactly the same. And all of the English men in that comment section, you're so anti-English. Nothing to do with the crimes against the children. They're having a go at me and saying I'm anti-English. So you want me to, so being pro-English means I'm okay with the harming of children? That's what that means. That's what it means. This is why I know how deep these personality traits go. I should have put on there paedophilia actually as a personality trait. I should have put it on there, but I put them in the background. Seriously. Every time I talk, and actually I even have another video, if you guys remember, about the poor girl who went from the UK, from England, to visit her father in Texas and then got pew-pewed. Do you guys know that story? Over the fact that he was a Trump supporter. I have empathy, and I'm just like, if pew-pews were legal in the UK, how many more deaths would we have from young English girls? The replies, why do you care about her? I thought you were anti-English. Ridiculous. Again, nothing to say about the poor girl who lost her lives? No, they don't care about women. They don't care about children at all. So you saw the video to that as well. Anti-racist mom. Do you want to add a bit more there? You said it stems from Julius Caesar. Do you want to add some more anti-racist mom?
Yeah, so Julius Caesar, I recently learned, had a belief that like women were awful because, and that's like, he was the one that took the women's voices out of the Bible, and he thought women were disgusting because we're penetrated in order to create children, but then it became like an obsession of his like the upper class at the time, that what they would do is, as part of their controlling of the populace, is the boys had to be penetrated in order to make them like compliant, complicit. And so it is innate within our like shadow work that we have to do as white people, is to overcome this generational trauma that was conditioned into us as how to dominate and maintain white narcissism, that's how, and the patriarchy, it was a mechanism of control. And that's why like a lot of men are like, you know, like they're like shame. They experience shame for being attracted to other men, and they would under Julius Caesar, if they grew into adults that were enjoyed that from other men, then they were like cast out or castrated, and they were ostracized from society. But they'd literally done it to them as children to make to dominate, and from the upper class of the Roman Empire. It was a way of, and then it was used became a technique for conquering, and then as Britain colonized it, that's how it was a colonial strategy for population management and for breaking culture, breaking connection. And even I recently discovered that when Britain took Palestine, there were Palestinian children. That's why they can't have DNA tests in the Zionist entity, because there were Palestinian children that were taken and raised as Zionist Jews, and don't know their history at all. So it's all a way of breaking connection to land, connection to country, because they know when you're connected to country, you're spiritually strong, and that's why they did it with First Nations people. But it's so insidious, and in fact, Julius Caesar was like the first kind of awful narcissist, patriarchal. He really hated women, and that's why he had real womb envy. That was what from the stuff that I've been looking into. That's why he had to get rid of women's voices from the Bible and everything. It was just, he hated the fact that he couldn't have a child. Couldn't grow a child.
Jesus, thank you so much for sharing that. That's really horrific, really horrific. And I think what is kind of bothersome is that these beliefs exist in humanity, and there are people that still have these same beliefs, and it's whether they can get away with executing them. Of course, we got the nasty orange man in the highest seat in the world, and the things that we've heard them do to children, do to women on a large scale is absolutely horrific. And it is so frustrating that there doesn't seem to be any kind of punishment for that. I know there's going to be spiritual punishment. I know this, I know it. I know that that man is suffering already, but it's not enough. The way that humans have had to suffer because of these people and because of these personality traits is horrific, and the suffering is not good enough for these people. These people need to have such terrible punishment. And it makes me think now more on a spiritual level, right? Is that this earth life is a short time. Some of you here, I know are spiritual. Some of you might be religious. Some of you might not be there yet. This earth life is a very short time. It makes it very difficult for us because, of course, we have these bodies and we have feelings, we have consciousness, and it feels like it's never ending. But from what I know from being an atheist for 40 years and being spiritual for 2 years, is that their eternal damnation is coming. Truly, it is coming. We just have to suffer a bit here. This is our judgment, right? On earth is our judgment. What we do here is then going to be judged by what happens after. And people like Donald Trump, they're going to suffer for the rest of eternity, the rest of their afterlife. They're not going to know peace. They're already experiencing some stuff now. And for those of you who are spiritual, I know that you've started to feel the shift in the veil. On that note, did anybody else feel really weird over this weekend? I know that some of you guys have been feeling the time speed up, but Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it felt weird. And Saturday as well, Leanne and I, good to see you by the way, Leanne, there was a lot of male ego crashing on Saturday. I was going from live to live to live, and the men were even following me to call me a witch, to call me a dog. Leanne, she saw this. They were following me. I literally was on some live for a little bit, went to a next one, started following me, stalking me. And that's the first time I've ever been called a witch. The first time he was screaming. Yes, thank you. Yeah, Leanne, it was. It was so draining. And bless Leanne, I'm going to thank her publicly here. So I'll explain a little bit what happened. I was on a spiritual life. I don't really join spiritual lives, but there was a really interesting one because Kruger, I know she's working. Hi, Kruger. She was on a panel and it sounded really interesting. So I joined it. There was a woman talking up there. I loved everything that she was saying. And the men were not understanding. So I joined and I said, I just want to co-sign what you're saying. You know, I want to give you some validation. It was brilliant. So we ended up having a conversation. There was a man in the comment section that was hating everything that I was saying. I wasn't bothered by him, whatever. I moved to a next life. I was talking, it was just me and one other guy. This guy was religious. So I was just asking him some questions, but he was really lovely. He was answering my questions. He was asking me questions. You know, we were having a great conversation. That man from the comment section had followed me, which I didn't even realize, and joined in that next live. So me and one other person, this man had followed me, then came up onto the panel and was like, Fox is disingenuous. She's saying this stuff about the Bible. I've never even read the Bible. Oh, you've got serious stalkers from that live as well now. Jeez, see, these men are crazy. So I've never been spoken to in this bizarre way, talking about me as a woman, being a witch and a dog. He was screaming, you're a dog, you're this, you're a dog, screaming. And then another man came up on the panel. And of course, I ain't gonna back down. So you can't speak about me like that. You think he was like, you have to let me speak. Not if you're talking about me. Talk to the host. You could talk to the host. Yeah. Just don't bring me up. But you said this about the Bible. I haven't even read the bloody Bible. Why would I know what's in it? I don't know what's in the Bible. I don't know what's in the Bible. This guy was projecting. He was projecting his fear of women onto me. And thankfully, Leanne came along to balance out the situation. And that guy is now blocked. You know, but apparently he stalks other women as well. Kruger, she also did say that he'd been in her messages before as well. Leanne, hopefully you've blocked all of those men because they got such bad energy. As I said, I've never experienced that. And you know the content that I do here. You know the shit like the men that have to say. So, you know, Zomo says, you're the one calling English people demonic, love. What do you mean? That comment doesn't even make sense. They are demonic. It was actually thanks to everybody in the chat here, Zomo, that actually added demonic to the panel. I didn't. I only had 13. So Zomo, let me educate you real quick and then I'm going to bring in anti-racist mum. Zomo, when I first came to this live today, I put on there 12 personality traits. It was everybody else in the comment section that added the rest that has made it 25, Zomo. This is a group effort. This is not just me. This is how we're actually looking at you. Zomo, any positive ones? Okay, guys, do you guys have any positive English traits that you could give? Or Zomo, do you want to say what any positive traits are? Guys, any positive ones? Anyone on the panel want to add anything positive? Anyone in the chat? Who's got any positive English personality traits that they want to add?
I would like to add I have none. So, none. That's my contributing spirit to that. So,
yeah,
thanks.
my positive personality traits I have learnt from Global Majority and First Nations people. They have, as part of my decolonial processing. Yeah.
Thank you. So Zomo has put English people are diverse. What do you mean? How are you diverse? You're not talking about British people. Like, you're not talking about us, right? Like black and brown people. We're not English. We're British by nationality. Is that what you mean by diverse? What do you mean by you're diverse? Do some of you eat fish and chips and some of you don't eat fish and chips? Like, what's the diversity? Some of you put up a flag. Some of you don't put up a flag. Some of you do cheese rolling, the others don't do cheese rolling. Some of you do Morris dancing, the others don't do Morris dancing. Like, what's this diversity that you're talking about? Some of you vote Reform, some of you vote Labour, some of you vote Green, some of you vote Conservative. Is that the diversity? Zomo, if you want to come up and actually explain some of this stuff, you can, yeah, but Zomo, you're just saying stuff. There's a wide range of personalities amongst the English people. I asked you to give me the positive traits. You haven't even been able to do it. You said that they're diverse people. Give us some of these personality traits, Zomo. What are they?
Welsh, but Welsh are colonised. They're not English. Welsh people were colonised by.
He said that Welsh people are English people. Oh my
Look up
God.
the comments. It's just like this is what we're dealing with. People illiterate, historically illiterate, scientifically illiterate, theologically illiterate, emotionally illiterate.
Oh my God, what a mess. Yeah, you did. I've just scrolled up. You said, no, I didn't. Yes, you did. You put up there, look, I can see it. It says, what about Welsh? What about Welsh? This says English personality traits. You're deflecting. What does that say there? One of the personality traits on this side says deflection. That is what you're doing, Zomo. You have said there's a wide range of personality traits, and I scroll down a bit more. You say 2. Some are loving, some are kind. Do you think that English people are inherently loving and inherently kind? No, because you put some. Some. If English people were loving and kind people, I would put that up there. If they were inherently loving and kind. And the thing is nowadays, Zomo, is that we have to be really conscious about the legitimacy of English people who are loving and kind, because we can bring up things like performative activism and performative allyship. The loving and kind part seems to always stop when activism becomes not trendy anymore. Even when it comes to things like Palestine Action, right? A lot of the protesting has come from people from the Middle East. Like if you look at Palestine Action, a lot of it is, and a lot of our movements anyway, of course, we have the Black Lives Matter movement. It was, of course, run by Black people. It has to be run by the global majority. And then white people come along and be like, oh yeah, okay, now I can be an activist for this. Zomo has said laters. Zomo has announced his departure because he does not have the ability. He said English people are kind and loving and diverse. And he said, what about the Welsh? Ridiculous. Anti-racist mum, did you have something? Otherwise, we're going to bring in Leanne.
Oh, yeah, I have. He's not got capacity for emotional discomfort. That's what they all get stuck in. But I would also like to advise everyone that there's an epidemic of theologically illiterate people that are white English people that have latched onto this oxymoron of Judeo-Christianity. It is not a real thing. It is a whole load of nonsense. It is impossible for Judeo-Christianity to exist because of the disrespect that Judaism has for Jesus. So Christianity and Islam have more in common than these. It's a racist dog whistle. So I did do a video last week debunking it, but obviously the theologically illiterate people that cannot read or need to buy a dictionary to understand like so many words, can't cope with that video. But they are popping up everywhere. They seem to be linked to like Reform, Restore, and Britain First, and another one. Oh, Homeland seem to be brainwashing their members to claim that we are a Judeo-Christian nation. We're a pagan nation, if like that's our origin. Don't try and rewrite history, you muppets. Yeah, like it's just like, oh, this is what we're fighting with, fascism. No, they're just trying to manipulate, rewrite history.
The desperation is really insane. Really insane. And this is why you see, or how you see, that English people have no personality. Like they have no really inherent traits because they keep chopping and changing what they actually are. And I've said this, like they are very easily manipulated people. They just do the work of their government. They do the work of their leaders. They try to say that they're not slaves, but they literally, I'm laughing so hard. I think, did I see it? No, I've seen it in the US. Now, of course, they've got Israel flags going up, and they've got, and of course, English people are raising Israeli flags. I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Like, it doesn't even make sense. Like, their behavior is so nonsensical because they have no real true identity. They really don't. They can chop and change like the wind. Oh, suddenly all today we're Judeo-Christians. You not weren't even Christians. All of a sudden you're Christian? These people are wild. Riri in the comments section says people are so adverse to be called racist, but they love to perform it. Oh yeah, absolutely. That's why we know them better than they do. Okay, Leanne, what would you like to add today, my dear?
Oh, my sister, on my life, I think this is the first live today I can actually breathe. When I tell you today has drained me, from morning till now. I've just been fighting racists all day. I'm tired. I think in one of the lives, I got called a monkey, which was nice. Another one, I got a Scottish person shouting at me from the top of her lungs, the top of her octave notes, soprano maybe, I don't know, just shouting. And I was just like, it was the most racist live I've probably come across, I'll be real. And I'm trying to think of who was even in there. Kay was in there, and some other, whose live was it? Simplicity. Yeah, that one, sorry, Simplicity, calling her out. I blocked her because she was complicit in the nonsense. I'm confused how as a black woman, you're cool with racists being racist to black people. And yeah, anyway. Yeah, you're shocked. I'm shocked too. I'm just as shocked as you are. Honestly, her prompt was about, what was her prompt about again? Go on.
Do you know what? I don't, because the thing is, I scroll TikTok quite a lot, but I didn't even see you on, like, it didn't come up at the top of my thingy to say that you're alive. Because generally, if I see you, and if I see actually anybody here that I follow, I pop in the room to see what's going on. So I actually haven't seen any of your updates or statuses for quite some time.
Is it?
Yeah.
I've just been, I'll be in good lives. Like, I'll be in good lives. Like this morning, my good brother, Little Black Book, today we're talking about men should shut up when they argue with the women. Very refreshing, healthy live, you know. And then after that, I got, someone sent me a live, and it was a racist one, as always, because, you know, we love a racist live. It's a racist live. You know, it was an okay racist live, one I could handle. Cool. That one then ended. Then it went to another one. The other one, that was the Simplicity one. I think Kay sent it. Yeah, Kay sent it to me. And I was like, okay, cool. As far as I know, Simplicity is all right, you know. And then she was, the prompt was what? It was about, are Britain, basically in a nutshell, are Britain performative allyship when it comes to being diverse? Like, are they really diverse? Cool. I've seen one black person on the panel, and Simplicity is mute throughout. And I'm just seeing all these white people around her just berate her. And I said, cool, I know why she sent it to me. I'm going to go up. Went up, sat there, obviously backing her. And then obviously she's getting muted left, right and center. She's doing the crash out because I realized she's probably been there for a while. So she's now at her peaking point. I'm doing the other way to deal with racists, which is be cool, calm and collected and don't raise your voice type situation. So I was doing that now. Somebody next to me, what was her name? Her name was called, it wasn't Annie. Angel? No. Alice? Alice with a black heart. Yeah, go and have your ice cream. Alice with a black heart. She said, to the girl opposite me, I just want to know, why do you think it's okay to come out of your mouth that Britain, everyone in Britain is a racist? I said, oh, so people are doing selective listening. I said, Britain is a racist country. If you have applied that statement to yourself, then you're already showing me that you're racist then. And then I got basically got all the men, like literally I had racist, I don't know if anyone was in that live. That whole entire live, the moment I went up on panel, I was getting dragged in the comments by racists. I got, Leanne's a racist. Look at that black woman. Basically, I don't even want to say it because I don't want to get your live flagged, but the most racist comments I've ever seen. Yeah? Cool. Then the whole entire panel now they're coming up against me. I'm being cool, calm, collected. They don't give a heck. Fine. they're all now jumping down my throat. Now what they're doing is they're doing, again, selectivism when it comes to slavery. Oh, so why is it you guys always talk about something that happened 200 years ago? Okay, then get a spoon from the dishwasher later. Like, it's not that deep.
I'm looking at
Okay, all right. Okay, well, go and wash one then. Go and wash a spoon then. It means do your job. So then... yeah, they're now doing selective performatism. So, oh, you guys always keep talking about something that happened 200 years ago. What about the Arab slave trade? What about the Arabs that are in Morocco? And then as that white person was saying that, and yes, I said white, I'm sorry, it is not discriminatory for me to say white. It's not offensive to call you by your skin color, because when you guys know black, you guys know how to say black in capital letters. So I don't know why now when I say, oh, you're a white man or you're a white woman, now it's oh my gosh, she's playing a race card, she's a racist. Yeah, they were saying, as that white man was saying that, somebody, again, another racist on the panel, unmuted to cut him up to say, oh yeah, Morocco's not even in Africa. I said, oh my gosh. Like, so then I had to then he's talking about Arab. Then I said, okay, are you talking about Arab, the ethnicity, or the, like, I'm trying to, so he's now conflating definitions on what Arab is now. But again, his point is about the Arab slave trade. And so what, your moral high compass. So what about the Arabs that are in Africa, but you don't want to have the same premise for white people need to get... I said, you know what? Like, the thing is, I have a tolerance of, like, you know, Fox, you have a tolerance where, you know, cut, block, delete, deuces, middle finger, innit? Whereas some of us, like me, AJ, who else? Me, AJ, you sometimes, Ems and so forth, you know, we like to do a little back and forth when we know we can handle it, yeah? But that live should have been... that should have been flagged, and it should have been like everybody should. I found all of their government names and I reported all of them to their workplaces, and somebody then came up to say, oh yeah, I don't know why that black idiot woman is talking, because she's a black BI blah 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 monkey. I said, oh, okay, cool. I muted myself. I sat with my thoughts and feelings for 30 seconds, and then I dropped from the panel. When I dropped from the panel, come and see all the racists in the comments. Where she ran to? Look, guys, she's run. Oh my gosh, where she ran to? I've ran because I was subjected to racial abuse the moment I came in here. I've come up on panel, been very respectful to all of you racists. And then when somebody calls me a black BITCH monkey, I'm not allowed to have feelings and take myself away from the situation. Okay. So, I can breathe here, guys. I feel
that. You know, I would have come up and backed you up and like shouted down at all those stupid asses because of everything that had been happening the last few days. But this is why I put racism is part of the personality trait, because I talk about English lives a lot. And when I come back to the UK, the algorithm is disgusting. Like, people don't seem to realise that these topics of conversation, which only seem to be the same 5 topics that English people ever talk about, are full of so much horrific racism that never gets flagged by TikTok. But I was getting violations so many times. I don't know if you guys saw it. Somebody in the in the chat just then said, I'm going to report this live. I've reported this live because what you're saying is racist or something. I can't remember what stupidity they said, but thank you, This Is Beth, for blocking them. You know, they think that conversations like this are so offensive, but yet they can say the most horrific, offensive things to us. And at the same time, they expect us not to say anything back. They expect us not to stand up for ourselves. I do at the same time, I do say this a lot to you guys, Black and brown people, is do your thing and leave. Get your protection up and leave. You see, so This Is Beth, you mentioned about the black tourmaline. I've been wearing my necklace so much more these days. Protection, negative energy, cleansing, like know your boundaries. And the fact that your energy gets drained, that means that you should have left there earlier because we want to have good, positive vibes, and we need to be able to laugh about this stupidity. Because what happens for me is if I go to that space, I'm always trolling in the comment section, and I go up sometimes and I'm like, what?
Is that a troll?
Guys, Was that a troll? Guys in the chat, was that a troll? Does that person need to be dropped? I didn't
see if
hear.
they got followers. Let me see if they got followers. 1 sec. They got 4
What did that
followers.
person say?
No, they just laughed and
It's
they
gone.
have someone next to them. They're a troll.
Oh, they've just gone. They've just gone. So I don't know if they said something bad or something, but I don't know. They were just on the panel there, Hermit Sapien. I didn't hear, but they just unmuted and said something. I don't know. But they've obviously run away. And they've
It sounded like a kid.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it
Some
did.
stupid child. Oh, okay. So yeah, I don't know why they would come into this conversation because this is clearly going to be above their heads. But yeah, guys, like, please do your thing when it comes to the racists, but just always do your best to remember if it's actually going to be good for you to be there amongst these people, because they're hot. They are disgusting people. They're horrible people. What's the reason why we should be putting ourselves in those spaces where people are horrible? Like, I don't spend much time in these places, really. I do my laughter. I laugh at how stupid they are. And I'm out, really and truly. That's why I think over the weekend, especially like talking about this energetic shift, that I felt like I was more in the spiritual lives. Because I don't really go to the spiritual lives, Leanne. I don't really go there. And especially
that
religious
caught me off
ones.
guard. That caught me off. I was like, wait, what? Wait, what? I missed the chapter. Wait, what? And then I was like, okay, cool. But obviously, when I came in and then the men are popping off on you, I said, yeah, we're not going to do that today. I will never let that happen on this earth. No. Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy because as I said earlier, the funny thing was it was just me and that one other guy, and then thankfully you guys who follow, who are like mutuals and stuff, ended up coming in the room. Ems, I saw you in the chat as well.
Yeah, I can't lie, I shared it. I said I need my troops in here.
Yeah, everybody came and they were like, host, and that poor, I did feel a bit sorry for him, the host, because he didn't know what to do. He was just like,
Yeah, I felt bad because in the beginning I thought he was trolling, like, how can you hold live and you've never had a live before? But I was like, actually, Leanne, shut up, because it is also people's first time doing lives on this app still in 2026. So yeah. I was like, fine, okay, you're my brother, that's fine.
Yeah, this was only the second live that this guy did, guys, and we were screaming. Like, from the FYP, I know people were like, what the earth is happening? Like, there's 2 men screaming at Fox, telling her she's a dog and she's a witch and all of this stuff. It was just honestly crazy. And then, of course, you know me, I don't scream on my lives. I don't shout. I'm not a shouty person. But I will never let you call me out my name like that. Like, never. And he expected me to stop talking while he continued to speak about me. You idiot.
Yeah. From that live, I got like 6 DMs from different men saying disgusting things about me and you. And then one of the men that was on the panel, the one that said that we're dogs, that one, he's been stalking me since that day. Was it Shet? No, his name's not Shet. His name is something else. Yeah, the other one. Yeah. He's been stalking me since from that day. Even today when I was in the racist life, he came in to also be racist to me in the comments, even though he's black. But yeah, he just won't stop. I've blocked him. I've done everything. But obviously, I'm not the host. And, you know, on TikTok, even if you block someone, they can still enter. So I was like, you know what? Like, today, I'm just like, it's actually sunny, but it just rained. So maybe it's a sign, like, wash away all the sins of the racist people today. I beg, like, please, let me see a chilled live. Like, then I saw your one. I said, oh, it's a sign. It's just finished raining. The sun is now shining. Fox is live. And what a great topic. 25 English personality traits. The sad thing is the prompt doesn't even say white. The prompt says English. So really and truly, the prompt is also about me if I really want to be about it. And to be English, to be fair, to be English, I personally believe is do what you want, be entitled, question everybody around you. Yeah, question everybody around you. Look at people disgustingly, but order a kebab and a Chinese. And then what else? Just say you don't belong here and you need to go back. I think that really and truly, that is the handbook to being an English person. and also park disgustingly. You don't know how to park a car. You don't know how to drive a car. You people buy cars and you can't even maneuver around anything because you think your car is like a HGV trailer and it's a little Corsa. Like, sorry, it just had to come out. Yeah. Sorry.
I feel that you are obviously, with all the racism that you were dealing with, like you needed to have your outlet, and I'm so glad.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, don't ever apologize. Please always feel like you can come here and just say what you need to say about English people. This is why this space is here. It's why it's here. So yeah.
Oh, your bestie's back, by the way.
I know, I saw them down there. The funny thing is, when I started this live, I don't know if you were here when I said it, I started off with 12 personality traits. Thanks to the chat, there's 25 now. I literally updated the screen. Yeah, so Zomo was saying earlier, if you guys were there, but I'm just going to recap it anyway. We have Zomo in the chat again, who said, English people are diverse and they have positive personality traits. And I said, okay, tell me about them. And he went, what about Welsh? and then he went, some are kind, some are loving. I said, so you said some, which means it's not an inherent trait then, isn't it? And then he was like, oh, I'm going now. So he couldn't even answer. And now he's announced that he's back again. And then he says, I find this sad to see. So why are you back in the sadness? Why are you back in the stuff? Lots of loving, he's saying. He's saying the same stuff again.
I love people of all races. That to me screams Eastern European. Sorry, call me discriminative. That screams to me Eastern European. I'm sorry. I've got it out now. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Never apologize. No apologies. Thank you, Leanne. Okay, we're going to move to the next person. We've got someone called No Point. So I'm going to recap the live today. So I, of course, have this very English accent, and I lived in the UK for 38 years from where I was born. And I noticed many things about English people. I actually came up with 5 personality traits. And as time has gone on, it grew to then 7, it grew to 10, it grew to 12. And just today, everybody else in the chat has added more. So now we have 25 English personality traits. So, No Point, if you're there, what would you like to add to the conversation, please? No Point on the panel?
Sorry, yes. I know, because, you guys were talking something else here, so I thought maybe I'm going to go off topic. But looking at what you have, on the screen, I agree with everything that is written on there. Like you get these Brits, sometimes they class, when it comes to American, they always point fingers at Americans saying, oh, you guys are racist, we ain't racist, and that kind of stuff. Listen, I've experienced bare racism from white people. Yeah, I'll go to America as a brown person. I don't experience the same level of racism as I did in England. I haven't been accepted at all in this society. Going back to what was said on board, right? I've worked with English people. They're very deceptive and conniving, and they're backstabbers. This is what I've experienced with them, yeah? Also, they compulsive liars. There was one guy here, he just joined us, right? English guy. Yeah. And he went about fixing up stories and accusing people of theft, like as if, because he looked at certain people of color and thinking like he can point fingers at them, that it was probably them that's been stealing my chicken and all that kind of stuff. Yet nothing materialized. You understand me? When the control room done investigation, they found out that nobody entered that room, the kitchen downstairs that we have here in the building that I work. And he was just lying. He was just making up stories. Do you understand me? But I've encountered such experiences with other English people as well. Do you understand me? And that's been my experience with English people. You understand me? And then you know what they will say, yeah? They will say, oh, it's because, you Muslims don't like us, this and that, blah, blah. No, that's not true. That's not true. Do you understand me? You just want to. That's another thing.
This is why I put things like this paranoia and projection, because they feel so hard done by and so threatened by their own behavior. They like to accuse everybody else of what they do. Like they are the ones. Like, so anybody who's worked with English people, me working in offices, I absolutely hated working in offices with English people, because as soon as you have some kind of personality or you like step out of the mold because everybody is just like a copy paste of each other, you immediately become enemy number one. Immediately. And they say, even my mother, who is in her 60s now, she's almost in her 70s, would talk about the same thing as my poor mother, because she's smart and because she's empathetic. You know, and working with them is so freaking complicated, and having to deal with things like HR issues. Like, have you had to deal with any HR issues? You have?
Plenty of times, plenty. I work in security, right? So, you know, you got these black brothers that work with us, like African brothers and all that kind of stuff, you know. I work with them, and they got very serious nature about now. And don't take this in the wrong way. The reason why is they don't want to spill any beans, mention any person's name, because if they did, the person who's listening, he's going to go to the next person and say, this person said this about you. Yeah. And it goes round in circles, and then it comes back to them. Then it comes back to them. Yeah, I was young, you know, I've been foolish when I started in this industry that I'm working at. I'm a security guard. And a lot of these brothers have warned me, look, bro, you've got to be careful. You can't say too much sometimes, you know. And sometimes I ain't said too much. You know, you just say something innocently and it comes back to bite you. And that led to me being removed from a site where I was working. You know, but they twisted the story as well, the narrative.
This reminds me, right, of a story. So where I've moved to is a Muslim country. I have a few British neighbours. I was walking past, I live in a very small village now, right? I walked past the shop. There were my neighbours, and I didn't even remember them. I don't even remember meeting them. They shouted my name, and I was like, did I meet these people? I must have, because they know who I am. They invited me to come and sit with them, and they were with two other people. And I was like, okay, well, you know, I will. I'm new here. The guy proceeds to say, oh, my son is going out with a German, but we won the war, though. You know how they always say shit like that, right? He said that, and I just turned around and said, what? I said, but what's that got to do with anything? Like, the daughter, you know, and she's younger than me, so she's going to be in her 30s, I assume, or maybe actually a bit older. I don't know, maybe my same age. And I was like, but what's that got to do with anything? And that's all I said. It then went to my neighbour at the back, to then my neighbour at the side, who then came back to me. I said, what? I can't believe that little comment managed to go around all the neighbours, because I was like, what's that got to do with anything? That's all I said. And even the wife, right, of the guy was like, I don't know why he brought it up, because, you know, it's an old white English man. The English woman was nice. Like, she was fine. She said, I don't know why they bring this stuff up. It got around and it came back to me. I said, what? These people are bored, man. They're clearly bored. And plus, of course, you know, they're older generation and they're very bored and retired. So that for them was like really hot gossip. But yeah, you got like so I think that is generally, I think, a problem maybe for black and brown people, is that we're very honest, and the honesty does come back to bite us in our ass, because I can't lie. I cannot lie. I can't even tell white lies. So when I'm honest and I am direct, which I've talked about this just earlier on my TikTok stories as well, you can see it, that having a direct conversation with an English person, they hate it because they're so used to passive aggressiveness. If you talk directly to them, it upsets their soul. So if you talk directly, you are now, again, enemy number one. Don't talk to them directly. Don't look at them in the eye. You have to go around the houses and say something sarcastic, or say only joking at the end, or it's only banter. You know, you have to say some kind of disclaimer, because otherwise they can't handle it.
I've had the experiences where, you know, when you like getting involved with talking about football sometimes, you know, something as innocent as football, man proceeds to call me a PDF just because I'm a brown person and that kind of stuff. Yeah, I had a problem with that, so I had created some some videos and all that kind of stuff, talking about it openly, but I took them down, because TikTok, they filter them out. I had a guy here working with me, like, I treat everybody with utmost respect and like my brothers, I'm talking about football, about 90s, and saying that English mentality, we are superior, this and that, blah, blah, blah. This guy, when I told him Italian football was it was dominant in the 90s and that kind of stuff. It wasn't English football. You had the likes of Mark Robbins and all that. I wouldn't pay to watch that. I was like that to him. And he took that in offense. You know what he goes? He said, you should be watching cricket, you. And then, my colleague who's Jamaican, this Jamaican fella, he goes, that didn't come right, what this guy said, and that's how you can see with things like that, the remark that guy made about cricket, that come off as racist. Do you understand me? As if,
see how they have their stereotypes. They have their stereotypes, right, for everybody. But then as soon as we say something, they're like, racist, racism, you're being racist. Like, they can't handle if we ever say anything remotely close, and it's not even anything close because we don't have the power to be racist towards these people. You've still got Zomo crying in the chat saying that this conversation is racist, and he's not. And the funny thing is, every time I ask an English person to prove racism or to discuss racism, can they do it? No. 0% of the time. All they'll do is go to some stupid dictionary definition, but they don't scroll past the first 2 lines to see the third definition requires systematic oppression. They don't ever get that far. And that's why actually these definitions and these dictionaries do need to put that one at the top, because English people, getting them to even read full stop is bloody hard work because they can't freaking read. So, right. Thank you. No point. We're going to move to the next person. I don't know. Thank you. I don't know
Thanks
if James
for the time. I'm going to drop anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, take care. Bye-bye.
And you too. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know if James is there. He's on Teacup. Maybe we'll come back to him. We've got, James, are you back?
Back?
You're back. Yes, James. So, of course, I'm familiar with you now, James. So what do you want to add today?
25 English personality traits. Agree with all of them. I'm not going to deny you there. Every Englishman or person or woman or whatever person you want to be called has pretty much all these traits. I am not going to deny that. Just like I'm not going to deny that every single probably culture on this planet has those traits. It's interesting.
You know what that is? That's deflection. That's deflection, James.
It's
straight away.
interesting you put. Okay, 1 second. It's interesting you put racism on there, considering does the UK have problems with racism? Absolutely. But if you actually look at various studies, including the EU study, when it comes to racial tolerance, England and the UK in general is one of the least racist countries in the world. So there you go. So you call it, and there you go. And it's interesting to note that you put all bad traits on it. You never put any good traits.
What are the good traits then, James?
Passionate, kind.
Where are they passionate? Where are they kind? Where are they kind?
What? Where are we kind? Did you say?
Yes.
Or how are British people kind? How about like all the people, like, here's an example. How about during the C word pandemic, when all those people decided to, volunteer their time to do all, helping people out through the, the volunteer service, like I did, for example. I did that out of kindness of my heart.
So how did you continue that?
How did I continue that? Well, I actually had to stop it because I had to go back to work full time.
But what have you done afterwards to continue any volunteering? If you're inherently kind people, where is your continued activism?
Continue activism in kindness. Well, let's see. Always helping out people at work when they're down or whenever they need someone to talk to. That's very kind of, I find. Or like,
I have to mute you, James. This is not inherent behavior of kindness. You just talked about a performative act of kindness, which a lot of people were doing during COVID. When it comes to protesting and things like that, this is performative. If you're an inherently kind person or group of people, these situations are constant, James. I have to say, James, that nobody else here has come up with any positive personality traits, James. Nobody. You're the first person to actually come up with things. I asked earlier, please, guys, give me some positives. Even in the chat, there was only a guy that said 2 things. He said kind, and then he disappeared. So you're talking about helping people at work. You think generally English people in the workplace help each other?
Yes.
Is that what you think?
I honestly do think that.
So if English people inherently were kind and help each other at work, why do you have things like HR departments? Why are the HR departments constantly busy in these places? Why do you have things like trade unions?
Trade unions is actually very kind because they represent the workers' majority. Your bosses can be unkind. That's the whole point of trade unions, to protect you from your bosses and discrimination against from colleagues.
Yes. So when people, so what does happen is that when we talked about this earlier, right? Is that when people get up and they get power and they get money and they get more entitlement, they become less kind. This happens. We see this in all of the systems. Talk about a head teacher at school becomes less kind. Talk about your boss, like we said, mostly unkind. People in the government, unkind. So if people are inherently kind, all of these things should not affect their personality traits. They should be kind all of the time, right?
Money, well, if you're talking about the money thing, which you were, because you know what, like,
it's not about money, it's about position and power. When people have a little bit of power in the UK, they have even more arrogance in their behaviour and the entitlement as well.
Well, couldn't you say that about any country?
Can you give me some examples where that's true?
United States is a definite one.
Where do United States people come from? Where do they come from?
Europe. Or do you want to talk about various African nations? For example, South Africa, there's a good example.
Deflection. Thank you, James. Deflection. This is 25 English personality traits, and he's gone to Africa. Thank you, deflection. Any more personality traits?
You asked me to name them, so don't you call it deflection. You asked me to name
I will call it deflection, because every time, James, you come up here, you always have to go to Africa.
Well, if you actually look at the South African government, it's a very corrupt government and a very unkind government.
Yeah, keep talking about Africa and keep saying that you're actually deflecting.
You want to talk about another country? India. There's a reason there's a load of poverty in India, because the government treats their people like shit.
Hi, James.
Deflection.
Hi, James. You're right.
Deflection.
Yeah. James, your first sentence was that everything that's written there can also be said about other races. Can you please try and explain to me how a black person can be racist? That was your first sentence, actually. It was.
Other cultures, not races, I said.
What?
I said other cultures, not other races.
But other cultures means that they are from a different ethnic background, right? To have a culture.
No, not necessarily.
Yeah.
Not really, because American culture and British culture are two separate things. And
how many ethnicities are in America?
Quite a lot, but it's majority white.
Okay. And how many ethnicities are in the UK?
Quite a lot, but it's majority white.
Yeah. So again, the fact that it's majority white and then you're also talking to other ethnicities, that means the other ethnicities aren't white, right?
What?
So they aren't white. Okay, we're going to repeat the sentence again. So you said that it applies to other races. Yeah. And if we apply it to other races, I'm questioning, how can a black person be racist?
I hate it when people bring up that, because like other races can't be racist when it does go on in other countries.
Okay. We're gonna stick to the sentence where you said that everything that's listed there can be said about other races, and you've just quite rightly said the UK is majority white, meaning white is a race. So all the other races aren't white. So again, how can a black person be racist?
How can a black person be racist? Let's see. Racism is defined as an inherent hatred of another person's race or discrimination against another person's race. If you have a hatred,
You've gone to the dictionary.
Can you
You've
read-
gone to the dictionary definition.
No, I haven't actually. Do you want me
James.
to-
You've
Can
gone-
you read? Can
You
you read
just
the full
have- this is
definition?
what
Can you
you
read the
do.
I
full?
can't read the full definition because I haven't
You
got a
can.
dictionary in front of me.
Okay, so well then, so you know part of the definition then, I guess.
Well, I know the basic definition, which is like the inherent hatred or discrimination against a person's race, ethnicity, culture, or whatever you're not.
Okay, right. Okay,
Like I just
again.
said, right? Like I just said a minute ago, I would like it if the definition went past the 2 lines, because English people only read, or white people only read the first 2 lines, and they don't read about the rest of the definitions of what racism is, which requires systematic oppression. So James has done what English people do, white people do, and don't read the whole definition. So
Yeah.
again, James, how are you going to say that black people are racist? Give us some examples. This is the only thing we ever ask you to do. Give us some examples. And remember that humanity is 300,000 years old, right? There should be somewhere in history where there's been this absolutely disgusting racism that black people have done towards your people or any other people, or any even brown people that have done to your people. Like, what events in history have shown this?
I'm sure there is, but I can't come up with one myself. But
No, because you would, James, because you, as I always tell you, you always come up here saying that you know everything and thinking that you know everything. If you're a white person, if you are a white person who is so desperate to say everybody is racist, you would have this fact in your back pocket, James, because every time you come up here, you have something in your back pocket that you want to play as a card, like, bam, I got you there, Fox. Bam, I got you there, Leanne. Bam, I got you there, black people, but you've got nothing, James.
You know what? I'll
You've got
even
nothing
give you.
because it doesn't exist.
Yeah, I'll give you grace. Let's go away from the racism characteristic here. Let me go to another one. Let's see. Okay, the one above it, entitlement. How are black people entitled? James?
I hate when like you're probably going to call me a racist git for this. Reparations.
Why do you need to say that?
He
Reparations.
said reparations. How is reparations an entitlement?
Yeah.
How is that an
entitled to
entitlement?
reparations for what our ancestors did, which is the minority. Actually, the minority of white Britons are responsible.
Okay, James, do you know that there's a difference between entitlement and being entitled?
Yeah.
Entitlement and being entitled. Unfortunately, some people who demand that thing are very, very entitled to think they deserve it.
So, question:
Well, James,
do black people
James,
deserve
are you
reparations?
aware? 1 minute, Leanne. James, are you aware of what compensation is?
I am aware what compensation is.
Compensation. Do you understand that compensation and reparations is the same thing?
Yep.
So
why
what's the
can't black
problem?
people have it?
Why can't black people have it? Because you're asking the British people who are alive now to
Yeah.
basically give money to people who never even suffered from what their ancestors did.
Okay,
That's
so
not what's being asked, right? So, James, 1 minute. That's not what's actually being asked. We are asking the countries and the governments. You are taking this personally, James. You are thinking that we want to come and take the money from your pockets. That's, of course, not how it works. You should be able to separate yourself, which you can't obviously do that, and be like, right, okay, the government fucked up, like everything happened beforehand, which was absolutely terrible. There should be compensation for the way that these people suffered, especially because the UN has just voted it to be the most horrific crime towards humanity. And the fact of the matter is, the J's, the H course, they got their reparations. You know that, James? They did. Germany paid
Because
them
the
loads of money.
because the
They
people
even
who
got a
suffered-
country, James. They even got a country, and now they've got all this military weapon to try and annihilate all of the rest of the Middle East. So
The
why?
people who suffered during the H word actually were
No,
alive when they
James,
got their reputation.
James, listen. They got reparations. Why are you not complaining about that?
Because they were alive and they suffered from it.
So we didn't.
So you think
No, you didn't, because you weren't alive during the Atlantic slave trade.
I'm alive. I'm okay. I'm alive right now, suffering from modern day slavery, though.
How are you suffering from modern day slavery? Please explain.
I can definitely explain institutional racism.
Institutional racism. Unfortunately, is there institutional racism? Yes, but it's also institutional classism in the UK as well.
Yeah. So who's at the bottom then of both? Who's at the bottom of both?
Let's see. Majority of Black Britons come from a working class background.
No. Again,
so.
my
Where
question.
are they then?
So who's at the bottom of both? Who
say it,
want to go to the education front? Black people actually do fare better in education than majority of white working class boys statistically.
Okay.
That's not what she asked you. That's not what she asked you, James. That's not what she asked you, James.
Black
1 minute,
men.
Leanne, let me repeat
Go on.
1 minute, Leanne. Let me repeat what you just asked him because he's not getting it. Leanne asked you about the class system. She didn't mention anything about education. She said in the class system, who is at the bottom? You can answer that very clearly. You know what the answer is, James.
Quite honestly, I know you want me to say black people, but I don't think black people are on the bottom of the class system.
So who
You
is?
can't say you don't think. You don't say you don't think because we work in facts here. You're struggling to admit that. You're struggling to admit it, James.
What?
Leanne has put you into a corner. Leanne has put you into a position that you feel very uncomfortable admitting because when you come to my panel all of the time, James, you have to be right.
I'm not going to admit
like
that.
this. James, you are always like this. Always like this. It's
Because
the fourth
I like
time
to
you
think the
come onto my
majority of
panel.
Britons are not a
You
racist
don't
bunch of
have.
arseholes.
You
Because you're
don't
white.
have the ability, James. You don't have the ability to actually be like, yeah, do you know what? That's correct. You do not have the ability whatsoever, like none. You can't just be like, right, okay, yes, that's correct. You can't do it. And guess why? Guess why? Why can't you do it, James?
Because
Because
I
you
know
have this
that.
narcissism. Because
Can I
you have so
release-
the personality trait there I put is narcissism, James.
Can
You
I
actually are
respond,
quite a
please?
narcissist. You are also very ignorant as well.
Can
I've
I
also put that
respond,
as a
please?
personality trait as well. You also have
respond, please?
sociopathy because but you don't have any empathy for people who have actually had to struggle so much in
Can I
the
respond,
UK. You
please?
think that everybody. You came up here and said
Oh,
that
now
we're
you wanna
entitled.
respond.
When you have the entitlement, James, you have the entitlement, and you've projected that on what you think we are. You've projected that from yourself, James, onto us, and you do that a lot here. As I say, you come here with this ego. I should have put ego on there as well. Out of control ego, that you just don't have the ability to understand anything that is being said on any topic that I've brought here. Anything. And even actually, if you guys were here on Friday, I did a British quiz on Friday, right? I'd said modern concrete cement was created by the English. I went through the timeline of concrete and cement, and I mentioned that English people created a modern cement. James came on the panel. He was there. He went after. I said, "Oh, you didn't mention modern cement." I freaking did, and I even showed a video about modern cement. The boy doesn't listen. He doesn't know how to listen.
You said ancient
He doesn't know.
Egyptians
He doesn't
invented
know how to take in new information. Yoann, yeah, you remember. And then I ended up saying, "Shut up, James." I said, "Shut up," because you don't listen, James. You don't have an ability to learn anything new. You are, James, representative of that Englishman who is on his way out. You are the end of the line, James, because you have the ego and the entitlement that is not able to take on new information as being correct. And to even just expand your mind a little bit to understand anything outside of your narrow view of life.
Right, can I respond now?
See, all he does is can I
You couldn't respond to any question.
I would argue
You couldn't respond to
you're
any
correct in
question.
saying like
Oh.
the upper class of this country and the powerful people in this country treats the black people probably as the bottom of their shoe in this country. That I agree with. But in terms of working class people, do we think that you're at the bottom of the class? No, we don't. We treat
Yes, you do. Stop, pathological liar. Pathological
pathological
liar.
liar.
I'm so good. Kelsa, if you're still
You
here,
know, I
advocate.
explained to you statistically, Britain is one of the least racist countries in the world.
James, you don't have the cognitive ability to understand that report. And you also don't have the cognitive ability to understand that that report was debunked by the UN and by several newspaper outlets around the world, James.
UN freaking said
it was
it was.
debunked.
Bollock,
What?
absolute bollock. You're to talk about me being ignorant.
Sorry, was there a little bass in your voice there? What?
She's ignorant. Look it up. Statistically, England and UK are ranked as one of the lowest race on the lowest.
Calm down, get your words out. Say it again. What? What did you say, James? Calm down. Wait a second. I think you got your knickers in a twist. What did you say? Sorry.
Oh, so
UK is the.
If I said that to you, you would call me a misogynist.
No, I don't know. If you're an English person, you'd know that that's an English phrase in this country. Wow. Anyway, so sorry, you said what? Because there was so much going on just there. What did you say the statistic? What?
Statistically, England and the UK in general are ranked as one of the least racist countries in the world.
Okay, but so what? Just because somewhere for you as a white person is a bit better, I shouldn't complain about what's happening here?
Here's the thing. When it comes to like cultural diversity, Britain actually again ranked as one of the most tolerant in the world.
Ranked where? Who did this ranking, James? What is this?
That was the EU that did that ranking.
James, back to my question. So because
So
I
we're
live in
asking
the
white
UK,
people to rank their own racism.
yeah. So James, I'm gonna ask the question again. So me that lives in the UK that experiences racism all the time, I shouldn't open my mouth at all. What? Because what? It may be China, where it's probably worse for me. I should be what? Thankful that I experience racism, but not to a degree somewhere else.
Well, China's one of the most racist countries in the world.
Okay, again, my question: should I be thankful that I experience racism?
Can I ask how you experience racism every day?
Can you just answer the question? Because you haven't answered why.
No, you shouldn't be thankful. You should never experience racism.
Okay, I shouldn't, but I do on a daily basis, right?
Please explain how.
Explain how. I don't know where you've been then, because right now, how many people are in power trying to ship all of us back, even if we were born and bred here? And you're telling me how?
You know, Kevin Bannock wants that.
You can read the comments section in this live right now and tell me about how. I came up on the panel.
Wants to ship a load of people away, and she is a black woman.
No, she doesn't actually. It's actually Suella Braverman. Suella.
Kemi Bannock has mentioned she has in the past, and
do you know who Kemi is?
Indian for you.
Okay,
That's not a non-white person.
Hi. So again, I say something, and you want to point to a stupid person that sadly has similar appearance to myself that is also doing tomfoolery in this country. That's your conflating argument to everything I've just said. You want to bring up Kemi? Oh my gosh, Kemi, because she's a black woman. Oh my gosh, she's a black woman. I'm talking specifically to all the parties, including her. Parties, I don't know if your ears are open. The political parties that are opening their yaga mouth right now, saying that anyone 5 generations back should be shipped away from this country, whether you're born here, whether you're partly white, whether you have white in you. Please, I beg. I don't know if you were taught in school how to do PPE, point, evidence, explain. Yeah, this is going back to year 5, year 4, year 6 work when it comes to debate and arguments. Respond to just that one point and don't bring up Z, K, F, G, M, and O. Thank you.
Can you explain which political parties have said that they want to ship every country person back to their own?
So have you read? Okay, have you read Reform or Restore's manifestos by any chance?
Okay, I will try to ignore those two ignorant parties, but yes, I have.
But how can you ignore them?
I thought you were talking about Conservatives or Labour.
How can you ignore parties that are currently, sadly, slightly winning to actually be in power? How can you ignore them?
Yeah, when you say that, if you look at the data recently, they're actually falling in the polls.
They're really not. If you even go in the streets on the weekend and see the racially charged protests that happen up and down this country because of such parties, please explain to me how you want me to ignore parties that are marching every weekend, racially attacking people. Go on.
I would say join another party that had aligns with your views and trying to drown them out. Because
Can you just respond to what I said? Can you actually just respond? Like,
how am I
actually
meant to ignore them?
respond.
Well, how about you don't ignore them? You go out and counter protest them.
So sorry, you want me, myself as a little small woman, I'm even gonna put myself down because that's what you guys love to do. A little vulnerable woman that can't fight, can't do nothing. You want me to go and march where? What, in Manchester, in Birmingham, in London, go to all these racist people with the flags, chanting Keir Starmer is British, playing the Queen's, wherever that silly song is when the Queen has passed away, and those that are racially abusing and racially attacking, you want me to go and stand and face their front?
Can I tell you a story?
No. Answer the question.
James, no story.
Not on your own?
Why should I believe you're not racist right now?
Because I don't like to think I'm a racist.
Okay, but give me a reason. You saying it doesn't mean jack crap.
Let's see. I respect every single. I don't give a crap what race you are. I've worked for pretty much every single.
Untrue, James. Untrue. As I've
Please
said,
explain how that's untrue.
4 times. You've been here 4 times now, and you've never come across as an ally to black people in any way, shape, or form. Like I've said, you are constantly challenging every single belief a black person has. Anytime I discuss things and I talk about things, you have to be combative. You have to come up here and try to say that I'm wrong about stuff. You're not even responding to what Leanne is saying. You don't realize that you have inherent prejudice. I'm not even going to say racist yet. You definitely have an inherent prejudice towards either black women, we don't know that yet, or even women in general. Not. James, you do. James, you absolutely do. You absolutely do. You absolutely do.
No, what I have
100%, James, you have a problem with either women or black women. One of the two.
What I dislike is people shitting on my own country.
You can deny it all you want, James, but I'm also going to bring up, because I've been typing in this meantime, you were talking about this bloody UN study that says the UK is not racist, right? So this report was done 2 years ago. Shameful rise in racism against black people, says EU survey. You need to update your knowledge, James. Racism towards people of African descent remains relentless and pervasive. The European Union Agency for Fundamental Rights, FRA, has said a survey of black people living in 13 countries have found many are subjected to discrimination and violence that continues to haunt their daily lives.
Yes.
My days, sorry.
So what are you talking about?
I need to say, I've just been sent data as well. The UK is not actually the least racist. It's actually
didn't say it was the least racist.
You did.
I said it was one of the least racist.
Okay, you did. But the thing is, it's not even one of the least either. Because I just looked at the graph. I just looked at the graph chart. It's nowhere near it.
Leanne, can I ask you a question?
Go on, Mr. Oh, hey, October.
Hi, Leanne. How you doing? Hi, Fox.
Good
afternoon. Hope y'all are well. I'm good. This is a beautiful day this afternoon.
Go ahead.
I have a quick question. If the UK is this racial utopia, why are black women 3 times more likely to pass away during childbirth?
Do you know what's even funny? Like, it was because of my friend's unaliving with her baby that actually triggered the whole entire campaign towards Parliament, because it was actually 5 times more likely a couple of years ago. We got it down to, it's now 4 times more likely. I don't know right now if it's now 3, but it's black women that are 4 times, mixed race that are 3 times, and then white and other is, I think, it's either 0.5 or 1%. So yeah, please ask him the question.
Yeah, I would really love to know. There was actually a parliamentary inquiry, and they did research and said that it's because of systemic racism is the reason why black women in the United Kingdom, this racial utopia apparently, as to why black women are 3 times, well, Leanna says 3 to 5 times more likely to die during childbirth than other races. Does anybody have an answer for that in this racial utopia?
Are they saying that midwives are inherently racist?
Oh my lord, answer the question.
Okay, never mind. I'm not about to play with this man.
Well, specifically,
October, you
what
tried,
that report
man.
is saying. Midwives are inherently racist.
This whole entire system is, including the midwives, yeah.
But you know what else I thought it was crazy? Like, okay, Leanne, mind you, I don't live in the UK anymore. Do you guys have freedom of speech?
Yes.
We do, but there's no point. I'm going to be honest.
Okay, well, a second ago, I think the host, she said she was, pulling him to the carpet, and he said, oh, well, they're talking about my country. Why would a person say my if it belongs to all of you all?
Oh, okay. Again, James, want to answer? Maybe? What? He said, why would you call it my country if it's actually our country?
Do you feel like you have an ownership over the UK in ways that the host and Leanne do not?
Point. I actually like that point, October.
Oh, you see, what did I say? What did I say, guys? I said he is definitely misogynist. So he's only said this point now that he only liked this point coming from a man. So we've got that one definitely ticked off the box.
Not really, because I actually admit my mistake on that.
100%
I never actually thought about that. That's actually a good point.
100% misogynist, James. Carry on.
I'm not a misogynist.
Yes, you are, James. Yes, you are.
I hate to say it, but this is shameful.
And James, you always, like I said, 4 times now you've been on my panel. Maybe you've been in the comment section more. So clearly there is something that always brings you to my lives. You are always here. And yet when you come up on the panel, you always have to do something disrespectful. Because you are misogynist. Misogyny can only exist if a woman is around. Without women, you can't be misogynist. You need to feed off of me to feed your own misogyny, James.
Trust me, I'm not a misogynist if you knew me.
I'm not going to trust you with nothing, boy. I'm not going to trust you with nothing.
Comment section, is James misogynistic? Let's go to the comment section.
When I first... No, host.
So guys, in the comment section, like Leanna's asked, can you give confirmation whether you think James is misogynistic? This is Beth. Yes. Chad
but also,
says
James,
yes.
You said...
Paulie says, 1 minute, I'm talking, please. 1 minute. Paulie says, you're showing you are. I, Groove Odyssey, Cherry, Pip, good to see you 100%. Ari says yes. Prila says he's 100%. Yes. Pip says he gives nice guy vibes. I am not picking that up at all. I ain't pick up nothing nice from James. So yes, there is nothing that says that you like women. As I said, I'm not sure whether it's a black women thing. I haven't seen you on any other panels. I just know that you come here quite often, James. So do you want to do a favor and answer the question from the man? Because you liked that question. Answer what the man had to ask you, James.
Because honestly, I don't have an answer for that. Why do we say, my country? Why do a lot of people say my country instead of our country? I've never thought about that.
I'm not talking about a lot of people. I'm talking about specifically you. You have problems with people who were born, bred, and raised in the UK calling into question the legitimacy of this being a racial utopia. And when pressed about it, you said, oh, they're talking about my country as if this country belongs to you in a way that it does not belong to them. Do you believe that the country belongs to you in a way that it does not belong to these women?
No.
So if that is true, and these women also have the freedom of speech, why are you pushing back so hard on their opinions? And again, why did you say it's your country?
Isn't that the whole point of debate is to push back and get your own point across?
Why did you say it's your country?
No, because 1 minute. The topic here is English personality traits, right, James? And you've not been able to actually add anything. You talked about kindness, and then you talked about your kindness personally. And I tried to give you some examples about how that would actually be inherent in people, because people are very aware when you go to other countries, right? So I am going to bring up other countries to prove this point. When people go to Thailand, what do they say about people? The people are so nice there. They're so friendly. They're so welcoming. The Gambia, for example, is known as the Smiling Coast. That welcomes everybody. And a lot of other countries are known for being welcoming and kind. Nobody goes to the UK because the people are welcoming and kind. It is not part of the marketing package. People go there to see what? The buildings. They go shopping in Oxford Street. They do not say they are coming to the UK to spend time with people unless it is friends and family.
Can I make an argument against that?
True or false, James?
I'm going to go a little false on that
All
one.
right, James, can you admit that English people are not a selling package for people who are tourists?
False. Because what you're describing there is London and how they're pretty much unkind and what have you not, or any major city.
No, I live outside London.
No, that's your opinion, James.
I live outside London.
James. In tourist packages, James, where have you seen or who do you know that have said, I'm coming to the UK to experience English people?
Never.
And why are you eating?
Never.
Yeah, exactly. So you finally admit
Well, name me
it.
one tourist package where they go and says, "Oh, I'm going to Gambia."
I literally
You mentioned
told
Gambia to visit
you.
Gambian people, or I'm going
I
to
told you.
India to visit Indian
I've just
people.
told you. I've just told you. Even Sri Lanka is one of them as well. People go there for the good times and the good vibes and the good people. I told you. I've given you 3 examples now.
Additionally,
It's
Fox,
like an inherently UK problem.
I lived in the UK. I lived in Lincolnshire. Those people were not nice.
Please don't say Shire, it's Sheer.
Like I said.
Outside of London, inside of London, every single corner and crevice of the UK, no difference.
I just
But again, you have more to say
James,
about my
if I put
pronunciation
in-
than the fact that these are not kind people.
If I put in friendliest people in the world, James, and I find a list, where do you think the UK would be?
Oh no, bottom half.
So exactly. How could they be inherently kind if you can admit now, finally, after pulling out all these teeth, that they are inherently kind? If you say they're in the bottom.
Because British people are inherently kind, I find, but unfortunately, we can't put it across right. So that comes off as like very, very unkind. Even though we are pretty much kind people, I find. If you actually look outside of the major cities,
So, James, you again don't have the ability to actually look at perspectives. This is kind of, again, why I say narcissism and sociopathy, because you don't have the ability to see things from an outsider perspective. You're seeing it from yourself. Other English people are going to be okay with you because you represent what English is, which is this negativity, which is this ego. You see it, you accept it. Maybe
I'm only
you
part
might not
English, by
even
the
like
way.
it, but the things you don't get it. Huh?
I'm only part English, by the way.
Well, why are you fighting so hard for England then if you're only part?
Well, I was born here. I was raised here.
Was
What's
I?
the
And
other
I'm also part English too. So go on. What's your point?
Do you hate
What's
this
the other
country?
part? Like,
I
what's the
to
other
be
part,
honest,
James? One
what's
minute,
there to
Leanne.
love?
I asked a question, Leanne. 1 minute. What's the other part, James?
What do you mean? What's the other part of what?
You said you were part English. What's the other part or parts?
I'm part Scottish, part Gypsy, part Romany Gypsy, by the way. Yes, part Scottish and part Romany.
So
Gypsy
the
and part-
English, so the English part seems to, of course, take over you very much so, because the English have obviously disrespected the Scottish in a massive way. They bloody hate Romany Gypsies as well. Absolutely hate them. So why would you be fighting so hard for English? Is it because you were born there? Is it because you have a closer connection to your English parent?
Because I was born here, I was raised here. I know that at least my area, the English people are quite kind and quite helping and quite nice.
To
go to a
you
small
and other English people that look like you.
What was that?
To you and other English people that look like you.
Like, here's the thing.
with me anyway. Growing up, I didn't see my first person of color until I was like 5 years old. Yes, I actually remember her name. Her name was Sheila. And growing up in a little English village, you didn't see many cultural diversities that much because it was the 90s, man. That didn't really happen a lot. So when I got older, I began to discover a lot more cultural people. And I actually, you know what, respected them a lot because I knew, as you said, it was probably, well, especially back then anyway, especially at school, if you were, unfortunately, if you come from a little English village area, which is where I'm from, if you were a person of color, back then at least, the school pretty much ignored racism back then. But now it's a hell of a lot better. Don't get me wrong.
You know how ignoring racism is going to be a problem, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I like to think the UK has changed for the better that way.
In a country that has racism as a problem, the fact that you bring up racism and then it has been ignored, how does that lend itself to a country being kind? If racism and James, like the thing is, I don't feel like you're reading the right stuff. I feel like a lot of the information that you're choosing to consume is only for the positive, and getting you to accept negative stuff is obviously very difficult. And I'm not here to try to make you do anything, but if anybody is going to become a more well-rounded person, they're going to see everything. They can see the big picture, the good and the bad, from whatever perspective, right? I'm not going to see nothing good because I'm not English. It's not my story, and I don't need to see anything English. You're English, and if you're going to go to the next level of understanding, as there are other English people who can come here and be truthful about the positives and the negatives, or even just see the negatives, whatever, that's how you show that you're actually able to evolve as a character.
When I first came up, I said I agree with every single thing on that chart of yours.
You went quickly, James. You can't convince nobody here. You said I agree, but blah 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 blah.
But I want you to talk about the good things about English people.
You deflect, like you literally try so hard. You wait so quietly on the panel or in the comments section, and you G yourself up like, right, I can do this. I can do this. I can accept that there's negative. And then when you come on the panel, you just go, ah! And you scream out all of the stuff which is the complete opposite. That's what you do. You people do that. You try to convince yourself that you're able to hold these conversations. But for 99% of this conversation, James, you've been fighting so hard. And there was only a little bit of a breakthrough when another man came up on the panel, James.
You know, if either you or Miss said that point, I would have agreed with you.
That's what makes you misogynist.
Not really.
Yes, really, James.
No, yes, what I'm saying is, wherever that, what's the bloke, who the bloke who said that? What was his name?
I don't know. October?
Or whatever his name was. If either you, Fox, or you, Miss, if either you two said that, I would agree with you and I would have treated you exactly the same.
No, that makes you misogynist, James.
How does that make me misogynist by treating you exactly the same as I treat the other two? By saying
why. We've explained why. I've explained why, James, a million times. I'm going to bring in Fatia on the Fatty at the top.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello, Fox. Hello, everyone. So I just want to say that James just embodied every 25 words on your personality trait. Thank you for proving our point. And I also want to say that I'm not from the UK. I'm outside the UK. I live in Europe, but I'm connecting a lot with people from the UK because we are uniting to decolonize the world. And so I'm working with a lot of people who are like-minded like me. And so I love you guys. The way we work together, I absolutely love you guys. But also I see the other side, you know, the more ugly side. And maybe one thing that's not on your list, and that's this extreme nationalism. Like, we are from Great Britain and we're so great. And what's so great about being from Great Britain? I don't know. But that's okay. It's okay. You can love your country. But for example, in Europe, we are starting more to think of ourselves as people of the world, people of Europe. And in England, they are really stuck in their idea of we are England and the whole world, we are the world, you know, and the world is much bigger than just you guys. And you need to work on that, you know, this nationalism that doesn't has his place anymore. That's nothing to be proud about, to be extremely nationalist. We are people of the world all together. And then also the way, I don't want to generalize, because these words that are on the list, I can't apply them to everyone. I would actually apply them more to white people. I'm sorry, but just my personal experience. So people from the UK who are colored have other personalities than white people. I'm sorry, I have to say that. That's my personal experience. And the white people are sometimes racist in a very funny way. English people, you have a very funny way to be racist. Like an example, this white woman going to give a champagne bottle to her Muslim neighbor during Ramadan and telling him, yes, I know you can't eat until the sun goes down, and you can't drink, but then you can open it when it's time to eat and you can drink champagne. Like, that's England. Like, you don't even know other cultures that are living in your country. And James triggered me that way so many times, because he was answering to Miss Lika, and he was saying, oh, are you guys living racism like on a daily basis? Oh, really? That proves to me that he doesn't know black and brown people. He has no friends that are black and brown, because if he had them, he would know what we were going through. And that really triggered me. He would know, so he has no black and brown friends. Like, culturally, English people are very poor culturally. They don't go and find out about other cultures, other religions, everybody is different. You need to get out of your supposedly comfort zone and go and speak with other people and learn to know about them. And English people don't do that enough. They're so egocentric and so, me, and so we are the best. You have to be like us. How is it to be like you? I mean, I've been in Europe when they say you have to come here and then adapt. Okay. But I don't know what your culture is. I'm still looking for what their culture is. I don't see it. I don't understand it. The thing is, there is not one culture. There's a mix, and this mix makes us special. That's what makes us human and special. And because we are not one culture, because we are all different, and that's what makes us beautiful. English people need to get out of this idea of them being better than the rest and get along with the rest of people and learn. They don't want to learn. They don't want to learn anything else than what they know. Why? What is so uncomfortable for them?
I think they're just not able. And of course, bringing up the Great Britain thing, I think is a great example of the part of arrogancy that has actually been built into their culture. I don't know if you know why Great Britain is called Great Britain, because they're the biggest island in that area. Oh, I'm just going to mute you.
Yes.
I don't know why your Big Ben is going off. But because they wanted to be they are the largest island in the British Isles, or whatever the piece of land is called there, right? They're the largest. And so we need to be called the Great Britain because we're the biggest, which again is a very inferior position to be, right? It needs to be Great Britain. I don't know any other countries that calling themselves a great something, right? So already in the creation of the UK, it needed to be said that. So then it became cultural, right? So we're talking about English people because English people forget that they're not indigenous to Britain. And so they came here with all these negative attitudes and these negative personality traits, and they spread them. Unfortunately, and on a live previously, actually, we had someone else saying, we were talking a little bit about personality traits, but it spreads to other people. It spreads to other cultures. It spreads to other races of people in the UK. It's not inherently, like you say, is it Fatia or Fatih? I couldn't.
It's Fatih.
Your name? Fatih, thank you so much. Yeah, so it spreads to other cultures of people in the UK. It is a very negative and low vibration that lives there. That's why it is actually very hard to break this programming. And of course, even harder if you are actually English, right? So you have to really protect yourself and protect your energy and protect who you are. And I love the fact that you're working with decolonization, Fatih. That's what I'm doing. That's what a lot of us are doing here. And again, it is a massive worldwide movement that is happening for a lot of us to wake up out of this colonial sleepwalking like coma that we've been in and to understand who we are as people. That's the important thing. And those of us who are not going to awaken, like I think like people like James, as I say, are just basically on their way out. There is no future for them in the world. There is no future existence. It is final days. But I'm just going to put Leanne on the big screen because she's got something there to show us here for a minute. Leanne, you want to take over?
Oh yeah, I'm just going to be big screen whilst Ems takes the mic. Go on, Ems.
Thanks, Ian. So this is to just touch on what James said earlier on, saying that the UK is the least racist country, and I've said
I didn't say that.
Did you not?
I said it's one of the
You said they were one of the least. They're 15th. They're 15th.
Well, considering there's hundreds of countries in the world, being 15th, I would rank as one of the least.
Okay, so
no.
This is how I hate using analogies and I hate breaking down stuff to simplify it because it feels like an insult to my intelligence. But unfortunately for people like James, I have to do this. So I'm going to use a famous quote by Musashi. So Musashi basically stated that if you focus on the leaf, you miss the tree. If you focus on the tree, you miss the forest. Basically implying that you need to see things in its entirety. And this is the difficulty that James is unable to comprehend. His stance basically saying that the reason why the UK is probably one of the least racist countries is because it's diversity. Now, I find that very puzzling. Let's just say, for example, if people were to put out valuables outside their front yard, that increases the probability of people stealing them, no? So if a country is basically, if you're trying to imply that a country is least racist because it's diverse, because I would not deny that the UK is probably one of the most diverse places compared to other European countries. But in a way, that actually increases the probability of actually being more racist because now you've got more ethnic minorities in there. That actually puts what you like to claim, the native population, in a position to actually be more proactively racist.
I don't know. Ems is speaking as far as I remember. I'm confused.
Yeah. And Leanne, if you would like to provide the other screenshots, please.
Yeah, one sec. How do I do this again? Do you want this one?
Can I just correct you for 1 second, Ems? It's like I don't agree that I never said that the reason because Britain is one of the least racist countries is because it's diverse. I never.
That's what you were implying, James.
We literally said verbatim, James. You literally said.
Listening in the live, to be fair.
You said verbatim.
You were making that
UK
distinction.
is one of the least, and I'm sorry, least is normally 1 to 10.
I said that, and it is ranked 15. It's one of the least.
And as a mixed race person, sorry, 15th is not good enough.
Also, again, you can't ask other white people to say whether a country is racist or not. You can't ask majority white countries to rank their racism. It's really ridiculous. We don't get involved in these surveys, by the way. They don't ask us. They do not ask us what we think and feel about the racism in the country because they know if they asked us, we'd be truthful and tell you you're racist. They don't ask us.
Again, to prove the point. So I should be happy, me being born here, that the country I was born in is only 15th. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
He's struggling.
Of course he's struggling.
I would argue that you're lucky not to be born in a country that's ranked higher, but you're not.
How is it luck? How is it luck? Because I go on holiday, so how is it luck?
What was that?
How is it luck? Because I go on holidays, so how is it luck? I have family members that live in other countries, so how is it lucky?
If you're a person that is born, you inherently have luck.
No, I don't. How do I have luck just because I was born here?
No, you have luck because you were born. I didn't say you were born here.
Okay, I am born here, so how am I lucky that I was born here?
So, like, if we go to a country that is way more racist on the
This is racist, though. So what? Are we debating semantics of which country's more racist? Racism is racism.
Yes, it is.
So what? I should be grateful that in another country I'm not being unalived. But technically, I could have been unalived whilst I was giving birth. So I'm confused. What semantics are you trying to do here? Go on.
Has anybody, has there ever been a reason given, minus systemic racism, as to why women have been, people of ethnic minorities have been unalived during childbirth?
Yeah. If you maybe go in your spare time, rather than using this live to do it, go in your spare time and look at the disparities, which was on Channel 4 multiple times. It's been in ITV News. It's been in BBC One.
I know.
There's been actual documentaries. There's been actual documentaries about it, and there's continuous there's been continuous parliamentary debates and discussions trying to get through to the NHS failure for black and brown people. So why do you need to ask this live? It's been broadcasted for quite a few years now, so why do you need to ask the live?
No, I just didn't know the answer as to why that was. You said it was inherently racism. I just want to know if there was another reason as well.
There's a lot of reasons.
There's never is.
There's no one answer for racism.
James, I'm also sure you are 100% aware about the systemic racism that lives within the police. Yes.
Unfortunately.
Why do you keep smacking your lips between everything that you're saying? What's your problem, bro? Like, why do you keep doing that?
Habit. That's just a habit.
It ain't a habit. You've started doing it. Like, I've had many conversations with you, and for some reason, like, you're still here on this planet because I haven't dropped you yet. But I don't know if we need to hear the audible sound of your lips because your brain is struggling to process at the same time. That's what you're doing. You're filling the gaps because your mouth been moving so much. Is that when your brain is when you're not speaking, you just have to with your mouth. That's what you've only just started doing it, James, because you need time for your brain to process. So your brain is struggling. That's why.
Can I please react on what?
So you're aware. I'm just going to finish up on the point with the police.
I am eating an orange, so that's probably why as well.
I don't care. Nobody cares. Turn the camera off. This is nasty. Turn your camera off. No one wants to see. James, you're aware of the systemic racism that lives within the police, yes?
Yes.
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 So this is a system that you would understand, right? So if there is systemic racism within an establishment like the police, right? How could the country be not that racist when the police is a government-backed and huge establishment that runs within the UK? How can it not be as racist? How is this racism okay?
Here's the thing. I would argue that the police were inherently racist, and they're not as much anymore. Don't get me wrong. There still is still racism in the police.
How can you say they're not anymore when the reports have literally come out this year?
I didn't say anymore. I said not as much anymore.
Actually worse than what they were.
I disagree with that.
Jane?
Because you're white, I'm guessing, right?
The thing is, 1 minute, Leanne, because the reports have come out in the last year that there is systemic racism and it is terrible. Where is your measurement to say that it's not as bad? The reports are out now saying it's terrible.
Systemic racism in what report was this?
The reports, the government reports, backed reports on Statista.com, on gov.uk.
Well, here's the thing. Personally, whatever that report says, it may be true. I don't know. I haven't read the statistics.
Oh, isn't it funny? You believe the UN report. You were so standing by
I read that report.
The UN report done by Thomas Sewell, the bloody coconut who we bloody hate. You were so happy to stand by that one that said that the UK isn't racist. But when there's another report that says there's an establishment that's racist, you start struggling, James.
Because I haven't read that report.
Oh, so you've only read the report about racism because it makes you feel good. It is not racist. You've read that report, most definitely. Even though all of these other reports are getting far more traction and far more attention.
Mm.
You haven't read that report.
Here's the thing.
I
No, there
personally
is no
believe that in
fringe,
every
James.
single organization, where a public organization, private organization in the country, you're going to find racism because it's always going to be inherently there, unfortunately. You'll never get rid of it. It doesn't matter what country you go to, doesn't matter what job or industry you go to or work in, you're always going to have those problems, unfortunately. But
So your country is not kind, it's inherently racist, correct?
what do you mean?
How
It's not
can
inherently
racism and
racist.
kindness go together? How can racism and kindness go together, James?
Because every country in the world has its own form of racism. And every
No,
country...
it doesn't, James. Stop
It
saying
does!
these
It
things
bloody
because that's what
does!
you
Name me one
believe.
country that doesn't have
James,
racism. Name me one.
you say these things because that is what you believe, not because it's
Name
facts
me one
or
country
history.
Name me one country
What
that
do you mean,
doesn't
name me
have
one
racism.
country?
Name me one country that doesn't have racism.
No, you name me a country that does, because you're the one who came out with the
Oh,
statement.
you want me to name you a country
You
that
tell
has
me a
racism?
country.
India.
That's not racism, that's the caste system.
No,
It's colorism.
No. In India, I've been told this by multiple Indian chefs. Well, specifically one,
Oh!
Anthony. He told me because he
Who's
basically told me because he's a darker skinned Indian. In India, lighter skinned Indians are actually more liked and actually get more
It's called the
opportunities.
caste
than
system,
darker skinned.
James.
It's not a caste system.
It's called the caste system, James.
It's not a caste
not
system.
called race.
It's inherently. If you have lighter skin in India,
James, shut up now. James, you do not know anything, James. The caste system in India is something that has spanned for hundreds and hundreds of years, where it was actually down to darker skinned people working in the fields because they thought those people were poorer. It was class and colorism, whereas the lighter skinned people were in their houses. That's where it came from. If you were darker skinned, you seemed poorer. If you were lighter skinned, you seemed richer. It was down to colorism and class, not racism. Not racism, James.
I disagree with that.
You're going to disagree with facts and history and culture because you don't have the ability to think actually truthfully.
Well, couldn't you argue the same thing with the UK then? That it's
Stop arguing,
classism?
man. Stop arguing. Everything. Why is everything an argument with you, James? I don't know about your parents or your upbringing. You must have had a very disgruntled home because all you do is argue. I don't know if you've got any friends or you just spend your time shouting in the mirror because everything is, I would argue. The thing is, here's the thing. You got a problem. You got a problem. Everything is fighting. Good question, Paulie. Do you have children, James Welsh?
Nope.
Yeah.
Just to confirm, you do realise your children are white when you do have them, if you do. You do realise you're also white. You know that, right?
How do you know I would have white children? I might have children with a person of colour.
You definitely won't. Yeah, you do realise you're white because earlier you was a bit confused about your racial identity. You're white.
Yes, I am white.
So why earlier did you say you weren't? You said you're mixed.
I'm mixed culturally. I didn't say I was mixed whatever, you not.
No, you said you was half white. That's what you said.
He said,
Well,
no,
if
he
you
said he
actually look
was
at my-
half English.
Well, if
One
you
minute,
actually
you
look
said,
at my...
you said you were half English and then you said you're a Romany gypsy and Scottish. That's what he said. Yeah.
Well, if you
That
actually
was
look at the only reason I said I'm not full-blooded white, because if you actually look at my great-great-grandmother, a picture of her, she wasn't white.
That's quite sad. Yeah, you're a white man that is living in the white man's truth, living up to the white man ego, exactly what white men do. No surprise here. I just want to reference the meme. Today has drained me. That's the meme I want to refer to right now. Today has drained me. James, I hope one day, I'm probably going to meet you at a march or something. You're probably going to vote for Reform or Restore, knowing you. So I think
I'm a BNP supporter.
What?
I'm a BNP supporter. Joking.
Who's laughing? I didn't know this was a comedic space. James, I just hope maybe you read the comments, you know. I know you didn't listen to a word me and Fox said this entire live, and you know, when the men did come up, you did actually pander towards them because they have a bit of more vibrato in their voice and whatnot. Comment section have been grilling you the whole entire live. Love you guys down, Fox gang. Love you all. Love all of you, Fox gang, because you guys see the flipping nonsense we deal with. That the man fully well knows he's racist. He fully well knows he's racist, you know, but as we all can see, being called racist is so problematic, you know, jump scare. I think it's the equivalent of calling a black person now a monkey. I actually think they're on the same, it's the same insult level, where calling a black person a monkey now is the equivalent to being called racist, because it's so penetrating to your soul to be called a racist. But as we referenced earlier, you don't like being called a racist, but you'll still be racist though. Entitled, condescending, hypocritical, pathological liar, weak, fear, insecurity, because you guys feel like we're gonna wipe you out. Pessimistic.
Oh, I have a question regarding that wipeout thing. I remember, like, I think it was the second conversation I came up to you, Fox.
Oh, so you're a fan.
Like, you dropped just before you dropped someone, you basically said to that person that no one wants to sleep with you, and you're dying out and what, you know, and you laughed about that. Were you seriously happy that white people are dying out, or white men are dying out?
Are they dying out though?
You see the smile on my face. You see the smile on my face, James.
Are they dying out though?
Smile on my face.
So you happy about that?
James, you came up here and you were happy to celebrate that there was one black serial killer in the whole entire history. You don't want me to be happy that there are less white men on the planet that are condescending, that are narcissists, that are demonic, that are entitled, that are arrogant. You don't want me to be happy about that? Thank you, Pip. As a white woman, I'm thrilled. Other people, I might say good riddance. The world is actually generally happy that there's going to be less than you.
And just to point out, like, the fact that you're happy that a certain group, a certain ethnic,
it's going to be racist. You're going to say it's racist.
Ethnic race is like dying out. That's classified hate speech in the UK.
But James, you laughed at black people being unalived. So what?
When did I laugh at that?
Oh, ask the comment section. They remember it very clearly. You laughed at black people being unalived, but Fox can't laugh at apparently an unknown fact.
Please.
Oh, ask the comment section. They've been telling you the whole.
When did I laugh at that, please?
They've been telling you the whole entire time. This whole entire life, they've been saying you mocked and laughed at black people being unalived. But yeah, Fox is laughing at a statement that's not even true. So go on.
Explain to me when I was happy that black people were being unalived.
Okay, again, I said go read.
That's what I'm saying. I'm asking the comments. I'm asking the comments.
Oh, they're typing right now. They're typing away. Be ready for their responses. But so you're angry about Fox laughing at a statement that's not a fact and is not true. That's what you're angry about.
Well, she said it. The good old replacement theory. I never agreed with the replacement theory. That's a stupid argument.
So why does it offend you if it's stupid and it's not true? So why are you offended?
I'm not offended. I'm saying that's what. No, Fox was laughing when she said that.
Yeah.
So I want to know if she actually meant that she was actually happy.
So, but she was laughing. So how? So what? I'm confused on the double standard here. Go on.
How is it how are my double standards?
You laughed at black people being unalived.
No, I didn't.
Okay. Ems, you're right over there, bro.
Yeah, I'm alright, Leanne.
When did I laugh at like black people being unalived?
Just wait for the comment section, man. Jesus.
I've been waiting for like nearly 10 minutes.
10 minutes, the exaggerator. Okay.
When it comes to this whole replacement theory, let's just say in reality that was the case. So what? So what if it actually happens? Because I find it very hypocritical when they want to talk about, oh, the replacement theory, the demographics is changing. When if you look at America and Australia, did the demographics of those two areas change? I tell you what, if you're really that concerned about the demographics of the UK changing, do not get all the white Americans to go back to the UK, get all the white Australians to go back to the UK, if you're that concerned about the replacement theory.
I'm not concerned about that. What I'm saying is you shouldn't be happy about a certain group of people dying out.
Yeah, so why?
Why, James? If they have the history of showing that they are all of these personality traits and they treat people very disrespectfully in every single country, why shouldn't we be happy that they are?
Because not everyone is like this, and you know that. You're painting all
Too
of us
many
with the
of
same
you are,
brush.
James. James, this whole time up here, James, you have not shown yourself to be anything different. And you've tried to say that people in your area are like you. So you're coming up here as a representative of what we know England to be. You are representing your people very well, James. Very well.
You need to throw a bit more insults though.
But you keep like pushing on my
James, you're
our
not
culture
doing
down.
any positive. You're not doing any positive promotion at all for your people. You are one of the definitions.
You never have any positive promotion for the UK. You keep pushing it down, and one of the
Because the UK is not positive.
Why would I have any positive promotion, James? I don't live on your bloody island. I don't have anything.
Where do you
positive
actually live? You say
She doesn't want to disclose
I live
it.
in a Muslim country. I
Yes,
live in a
which one?
Muslim
That's
country.
very
He doesn't want to
I
disclose
don't want
it.
to tell you because you will come and stalk me over there too, James. I don't
really.
want you there. I don't know if you even got money to scrape together for a plane ticket actually to where I live, James. But it doesn't matter. I don't tell you. I don't tell any of you lot where I am because I don't want any more English people here. Because all you do is go to different countries. You disrespect the culture. You don't integrate. You don't learn the language. You don't do any of the things that you expect everybody else to do, James. I don't want any of you lot here. Because you know you don't integrate, James. Again,
James, do you have black friends?
You do not do the things that you ask other people to do, James. You suffer from this cognitive dissonance, which is what we tell you. You so disrespectful. You know they're kicking you out of Spain. You know they're kicking out of Amsterdam. They're kicking you out of Cyprus. They don't want you in any of these places because you're so disrespectful. And you're saying, we're a kind people, we're so welcoming and we're less racist. James, I've seen the distance between your eyes. You're not capable of understanding anything that we're talking about here, James.
Do you have black friends, James?
One.
Do you have black friends?
One, a guy called Mr. Cass.
Mr. Cass, what country is he from?
He is from the Ivory Coast.
What language do people in Ivory Coast speak?
Mr. Cass actually speaks multiple languages, but he mostly speaks French.
Perfect. Have you ever had a black girlfriend?
Well, I haven't had a girlfriend in quite a long time, believe it or not. That's another joke, which probably you won't find funny.
Believe it.
No, I have not had a black girlfriend. I've asked black girls out.
So when you was growing up, did you ever have black friends?
Yes, the same girl I was talking to you about earlier called Sheila.
Oh, so basically, in a nutshell, you've only experienced one black person at a time in your lifespan.
Well,
You've never had more than
I'm
one.
From rural Suffolk. We don't.
I've been to Suffolk. I have family that live in Suffolk. So excuse again.
I said rural Suffolk.
Yeah, they also live in rural Suffolk. Yeah, so Suffolk's quite a big. It's quite a big county, but yeah. Which kind of proves like the point that you've only experienced one black person at a time. You've never had like more than one. You've never experienced having more than one black person maybe around you. Maybe a brown person, you know, like
Black
maybe
person, no, not more than one. But in terms of like either Indian or Pakistani, I've had multiple people around me all the time.
What about friends?
Friends, Indian, two
right now, or they're not your friends no more?
They're still my friends, 2 people, but I work with like 10 Indians right now.
I'm not talking about work, because work's not really a friendly environment.
I would say my work's a friendly environment.
For you, yeah.
And the Indian people I work with.
How do you know that? You're not Indian.
Because they're always jolly and kind, and we always
How do you know it's not How do you know it's not performative?
I don't know.
Exactly, because you're white, right?
Well, I like to think they're happy with us. We treat each other with respect and kindness.
How do you know that? You'd like to think. That's the key word here, key phrase. You'd like to think, and that's what a lot of white people
because
do.
they never treated me like shit, just like I've never treated them like shit.
Okay, but you don't know that, do you?
What do you mean? How do I not know that? It's like they've never.
Because you're not them, right? You don't understand exactly. You don't understand because you're not Pakistani, right? So you'd like to think that this country and your workplace is nice to the Pakistani people, right? You'd like to think that because from what you see from your white eyes, is that everyone's actually quite nice, isn't it?
Sapien has just said in the chat, we've got to mask at work, which is what we do. And earlier, you missed this part. Somebody else came up on the panel and said that he works with a lot of people from African descent, and they are very masking. They don't get involved in any gossip. They don't do anything out of line because they know that as soon as they do something or say something, it will spread like wildfire. This is what we have to do, James. In your racist country, we have to pretend that everything is okay. And like I said, if we step out of line or if we challenge the establishment, if we do anything, dress differently, even have our hair differently, it will always create some kind of problem or some kind of flag. All of these things you will never understand, and you don't have the cognitive ability to understand either. And we're not here to try to convince you of anything. We're just talking, and the rest of the panel and the rest of the chat can see just how sheltered you are from a lot of things.
Sad.
I would like to react, if I can, please, on what James said earlier. He said that Leanne was very lucky to be born in the UK because it was on the list like the 15th.
Yeah.
So which means that I'm the unlucky one here because I was born in Belgium, which was on the 3rd place. So that's his argument.
Yeah.
Do you realize how stupid that is? Because when you see and compare our lives, the way we deal with racism on the daily basis is completely the same. And what Fox said, like, these people doing this research, they didn't ask us anything. We're not part of that research. Nobody talked to me. So what is it based on? It's based on what? White people. People like James. I mean, and the second thing, and it's very important that I want to share, because I'm 53. I had a whole lifetime on learning how to deal. And I had to learn to protect myself from people like James. Because when I criticize my country, and it's my country, our country, it's a form of love. Because I believe that we can do better. Because he was like, oh, do you hate the UK? Do you hate the UK? No. Criticizing your country comes from love. I want us to do better. If I don't criticize my country, then I don't actually love it.
You're acting like I
want
never
us to do better. And I need to protect myself from people like James. Why? Because Liana said that word, draining. That's, what I understand the most. I'm only willing to speak with people and work with people who recognize their racism, who are willing to work on it and are open to work on it. All the rest of them, it's not up to me to educate them. It's not up to me to do their therapy for free. It's not up to me to answer their question, because every 2 minutes, James asks, explain that to me. I don't need to explain anything to you. You owe that to yourself, to go and look for what this life is all about. That's your job that you need to do. That's not my job. I don't owe you any explanation at all. What I owe to myself is to protect me from you. When you go on these groups, and apparently a lot of people say they know you from other groups coming, and I mean, it's draining. If you want to be better, come here, listen and learn something. If you have nothing to give, but, even highlighting the problem more, don't come up here. Don't lose our time. We are giving our time, our energy, our love to make this world better. What do you think? We come just here because we have nothing better to do? We are working on each other to do better. If you don't want to be better, don't come up here.
But that's the thing. It's if we're talking about energy, right? Some of us are radiators and some of us are drains, and it's making me consciously want to protect the light, because this is the longest I've ever allowed James to come up. Those of you guys who are here regularly, you know, I only let James up for like not even 5 minutes. It's like 5 seconds and I'm done and I drop him. But for some reason today, he's actually up a lot longer time. So if you guys are fed up and tired, please do tell me and say that you want him to just go, because that can obviously happen as well. Ems is also saying that he wants to say something. Jay is saying yes. Please do let me know if you want him to be dropped, because it can be done. Ems, do you want to add your bit?
Yeah, I'm just going to say one thing, but to everyone in the panel and also in the comments. So let's just say with an alcoholic that's got a drinking issue, in order for them to move forward and overcome that drinking issue, they first have to admit that they've got a drinking problem, right? I think all of us would agree with that, no? They first have to acknowledge that they've got that problem. So in my case, like, let's just say, I may not give off this energy or this persona that I'm a misogynistic man. But at the end of the day, I know deep down that I've got a little bit of misogynistic traits that I need to unpack. And unfortunately, in James's case, how he's carried out himself, he's got a lot more unpacking than I need to do by a big margin. And the same needs to be applied when it comes to racism. Like, you need to deconstruct it. You need to acknowledge that, you know, okay, deep down, I've actually got a few racist traits that I need to actually deconstruct and unpack. That's the only way you're going to move forward.
Yeah, most definitely. But that's the thing, like, when people's egos are out of control and they don't have an ability to see that, then it's a problem. The one last question I was going to ask him, but of course I want to protect the space, I don't want anyone's energy to be drained further, is I was just going to ask him, why the fuck is he here? Like, why does he keep coming here? Like, why? But again, I don't think these people actually do have the intelligence or the ability to understand what brings them to these spaces. I don't think that they actually understand.
They love it. They love it and they love you.
yeah. It's just it's such a pull that they get, that they need to feed off it. It's like it feeds them. Like I said earlier, it really feeds them. So yeah, I don't know if it's point scoring, Ems. I don't know if it's point scoring. I think a lot of these men, as we know, are also very lonely. Like, they're very, very lonely. They know, of course, if they come into some of these spaces, is that they will get attention, right? Like you were saying earlier, Leanne, with all the racists, right? When the racists come in and they all gravitate towards a black person, or they all gravitate towards something, it makes them feel really special in that moment. Like, it makes them feel like they've got importance or something, because they don't have any attention or importance outside of TikTok in these spaces, right? When they come here, they know that they're going to get some kind of interaction and some kind of response. So they end up keeping on coming back because it makes them feel good, quote unquote. Even though it's not a good and healthy feeling, it makes them feel some kind of importance, because their empire has basically told them that they're nothing, that they're pieces of shit, that they're just commodities, that they're just slaves. When they're here, they feel special and important, right? They go to live. And then, like, you know, I'm sure people in the chat made him probably feel good, because they're like, he's been on other lives. And he'll be like, oh my God, people know me. They know me. Even if it's a shit reputation, it won't matter, right? Yeah, exactly, Leanne. They finally have a voice. They finally have a voice. And look at this bloody idiot who's back again. Zomo is back for the 3rd time.
Wow.
These people are crazy.
You know what? I just think... Right. Don't throw on your account with your face on it, man. Not with a fake white celebrity, you know. It's quite sad. But Fox, thank you very much for holding this live, man, because as I said, even though I am half English myself, yeah, definitely they got all the traits. Well, not me, because thank God I'm only half. But yeah, definitely got all the traits. I think we need to also add being in the pub. Being an alcoholic. I think alcoholics should have been sorry to the alcoholics that not to offend actual like good white people, just to put that out there, but alcoholics need to be put on that list. Being in a pub, being a skinhead, having a beer belly, owning a polo. Oh yeah, they love off a polo. What else? Gel hairspray needs to be part of that. Ray-Bans.
Leanne, I'm gonna let end the live because I am concerned for you, Leanne. I'm gonna end it now. Because, yeah, you came here and you said that you'd been fighting with racists all day, and I know you've been fighting for like 3 or 4 days, and I'm like, girl, where's your boundary? Where's your end point? And I really like you a lot, so I'm gonna.
I think I don't have one at this point,
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I'll be your protector now, and let Leanne go to sleep, get some rest. I heard her child in the background, like, mummy, she got mummy's on TikTok.
They're just staring at me like, mummy. I'm just like, oh, please.
Leanne, we need you to get your rest because you're one of the best fighters around here, and we need you at full energy. So please take some rest of this. Like, if you need a TikTok break, we're also here when you come back. Unless you're one of those people that just needs to have a good night's sleep, when you're ready to come back, we're also here as well. And yeah, thank you everybody for being here. Thank you, Fatia, for being on the panel. Thank you, Em.
Thank you, Fox.
As well for
Thank
coming.
you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Leanne.
Bye.
Doc Afro. I'm sorry, Doc Afro. Doc Afro wants to come up, but we're actually finishing now. And you missed the whole thing, Doc Afro. And I know you would have loved to have had this conversation as well, Doc Afro. So I'm sorry it is ending now. So thank you so much, everybody. And love you, James. So I will be back again on Friday, and we'll be doing another British quiz on Friday, guys. Another British quiz. I really enjoyed the quiz that we did last Friday. I think you guys, look at that. Zomo saying, love you. And I know I'm going to be in your dreams, you weirdos. You bloody weirdos. Friday is a quiz. And of course, it's a British quiz. The last quiz was really, really good. I might do kind of like a quick recap on the answers to make sure that you're actually remembering the quiz answers. And then we will go into the quiz. So thank you. And thank you, Ems, as well. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to the mods as well. Amazing, 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 amazing. Thank you, everybody.